the OCC presentation. Here's some copies.
I think that's all.
Need one of these.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
No, I'm being one of them. No, I've always been right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the,
Except for my boss.
I've got,
Yeah, that's, is that the presentation?
yeah, the board meeting that they gave?
Yeah.
I got it already.
Yeah, oh. Andy, you want one? I'll feel you.
Sure.
That's from the one from the. Not sure if you have the old copy. Well, you know, I had to call him like. Six. Okay.
Another afternoon.
You guys go, ready?
Brand new.
Good evening. Welcome. Tonight is the Bethel Board of Education special meeting for the Facilities Committee. And it is Wednesday, August 20th. It is 6:02. And I would like to ask Miss Julie Reese if she could call us to order, please. Or call the roll, please.
Rick Gilbert. Here. Natalie Donahue.
Here.
Tina, we'll get across off of there. Caleb Rumpel,
He is out tonight.
Julie Reese, I'm present. Todd Burke,
Here?
Lorna Berger, she couldn't be here. Jason Pickett,
Here.
Mindy Campbell. Here. Brent Cox,
Could not attend tonight.
Amy Novelino,
Is at the elementary open house.
and Andy Lee.
Here.
And did you say you got Tina has been unappointed?
She has
Isn't
been
there.
officially unappointed in the July 16th regular school board meeting.
Okay,
And we approved the minutes on Monday night.
okay, perfect. You didn't add anybody else.
We have not added anybody else.
Hey, Julie, probably can add Damon's gonna start. Andy, I think.
Okay,
So,
So-
you know, so, yeah.
Tonight we have a special guest,
yeah, there you go.
David Smith, who you would like to become a member then?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a one-time visit.
This will
Okay,
be, I'll be joining the
Okay.
facilities committee in whatever capacity I need to be in my new role, so being in charge of maintenance and facilities and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, so.
thank you. We'll make sure you get
So at the
added.
next board meeting, the president of the school board has to appoint you.
Got it, okay.
So the next meeting, she'll appoint you and then we'll put you in the roll call, but you can attend.
I'll feel special once I'm on the panel.
In the meantime, you gotta sit over there.
Yeah. As long as
I'll go sit on that square right over there.
Means you gotta take notes.
Yeah.
I got him up, I'll be the secretary.
Oh, you'll be the secretary.
How where I am now.
She'll pencil you in right now.
Here you go.
And then I'd also like to introduce and add for our attendance tonight, Mr. Tim Rusick, who's here from FMD, who is actually going to be first on our committee agenda for reports tonight in case you need to leave early or don't want to stay through the whole meeting. Just wanted to give you that option.
Oh, thanks.
So
Can you just spell your last name?
RUZIC.
Z, what I said.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here as a follow-up from the board meeting and the discussion with the OFCC. I'm sure there's been conversations and whatnot. I've handed out a few of the prints of the cost per square feet, just for everybody's knowledge. But we can go over questions or anything else.
I was going to say, kind of goes along with a recap of the OFCC.
Well, we're not
report.
there yet, right?
I know, but I
Okay.
just wanted to,
Okay.
I wanted to say that as part of that, FMD did a follow-up after that, and I don't know if you wanted to recap what you spoke to after our meeting before, because maybe not everybody has had a chance to listen to the meeting minutes or go back through. Jason, did you have a chance to go back through? I know Rick was in attendance, Damon, Mindy, Andy, and myself.
Yeah, I could do a quick recap. So just for the OFCC, with what was noted in our discussions with them, the understanding that the school district is in the midpoint of the master plan. So school districts create master plans with the OFCC, an agreement of a full scope of work. Work was done on site with the elementary school. That was a part of the master plan. I think Valerie noted that the rest of that master plan was actually demo of a good portion of the buildings to the south of us. See if I can bring that area.
To north of it.
What's that?
Oh, south, yeah, the old building south.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the old buildings.
That
And
wasn't necessarily the plan to demo it. I mean, we have to not use them for students, but
that was one of the options
Right.
with it. So anytime with master plans, you can have various paths that are put out there and then determined and agreed upon by the school district. Sorry, I'll turn that. So a good portion of the older buildings would be removed as part of that. Not saying that's still the plan or not saying that still has to be the plan. Things change, things can move forward. Again, the master plan can rework based upon the school district's needs. So that could change and be, for example, a new high school somewhere on site. Funds can go for that. When Valerie noted, when that project is completed, there was still a $23,655,016 credit that the school district basically has in their, say, just in line for your work that you do moving forward. So we would ultimately engage with the OFCC again, get that process started where they would do evaluations, they would do student projections, all those items that was noted during that review for free. School districts would be able to get that data because that's what we really need. We need hard data. Where are we at with students? Where are they going escalation wise with the amount coming in from CT1, CT2, and in the neighboring areas? So that's one path that we're wanting to do to move forward. Also, we're wanting to go down the exceptional needs path as well. It's one of the other programs the OFCC has out there, but as she noted, no one has really come forth and has been successful with student population growth as being an exceptional need. It is usually dilapidated buildings, things are going to fall down, health issues for students being inside, just bad indoor air quality, things along that nature. But we're going to coordinate with the school district to draft letters, put exhibits together. I noted getting photos of just classrooms, things that I've seen and witnessed at the school once it was operational last year, where it was, I want to say electrical closet practically, that was turned into a little office, and then it became a little classroom because there was like 2 desks that I saw, and then one was like in front of electrical panel, and that's not allowed per code. So things like that of what you're being forced to deal with. I think that would hit really hard with legislation with the OFCC and start getting some traction for really looking at what's happening here rather than just being shot down by the OFCC. Go to the director, go to the legislation, and sometimes we just got to make some noise and get people to listen. So that's one path with the exceptional needs that we want to move forward on, has already started. You know, Mike has sent a draft of a letter to us that we've reviewed. But the other path is with ELP. That was noted in the exhibit as well that was provided. If you have it in front of you, they've got various ELP, the ELP CFAP process.
Mhm.
So you did ELP for the the elementary school. The thing with ELP, with it being expedited, is you have to come up with money basically up front, and then you get like back charge or backfill for once you're done with the project, you'll get repaid by the OFCC, but you're paying that money up front. That's the issue with that. Not saying it's not possible, but if we could get the exceptional needs approved, that money would come to you up front from the OFCC because of that exceptional need. And that way you wouldn't have to go out for a levy or any other bonds to find something up front. The way we saw it in the discussion after was go down two parallel paths, one for the ELP, which is free for the school district with all the data that would come in from that. And then the other path would be the exceptional needs, push with legislation, push with the director of the OFCC, two parallel paths that if either one becomes successful, like the exceptional needs, you could stop the ELP and just move forward with the exceptional needs. Exceptional needs, they say no, you could still move forward with the ELP. It's just having to figure out where that money's coming from early on. But with the district being at 20% local and 80% state, which is amazing, that's a positive. So you spend $100 million, 80 million is coming from the state, 20 million is coming from the school. Plus you already have that credit of the 23 million. So if you did spend 20, you would get 3 million back to you. So there's some positives out there. It's flipped from that 80-20 over the last 10 years. So you're in a good standing. It's just, I think we need some data from the ELP information that the OFCC can give, and also some feedback on the exceptional needs. That's the overall feel from the meeting with the OFCC.
Part of the exceptions need, sorry,
Go ahead.
part of the exceptions need is like our forecast, what we,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just what you're talking about. We're using spaces over there, but just the numbers of what we were forecasted, right?
Yeah, we weren't
And
given
we're-
that option in the past. We were
Okay.
told that we couldn't, that was not part of the formula.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I guess that's why I said it's never successfully been done, because maybe it's something they thought of since we
Right.
built. So.
Right.
I have some questions for you though.
Yeah.
So one is, so you're talking about to build another building for this.
I said, just hypothetically, not saying you have to, or what that master plan would involve. I think we need the data back saying what the amount are gonna be over the next 5 to 10 years.
Right.
That's gonna help strategize and say what's best for Bethel.
So the 80-20 you're talking about, is that our current number? Because that's our past number.
That's what you're locked into. When you did the ELP for the elementary school, you were.
But that's not another ELP, that's the one we're locked into for this ELP,
Correct.
so that's what I'm asking you, to do another ELPP, it may not be 80-20.
No, it is. You are locked in. You are in the middle of ELP right now, even if you don't realize it.
Hmm.
You're locked into it. You're gonna re-engage with the OFCC. There's no threat of that 2080 going away. That's what we're being told by the state.
Okay. Mhm. Okay,
She even said that in the meeting.
Yeah,
At the
that's
board
confirmed.
meeting.
And
so
we,
that's if they reevaluate, like estimate, reproject the number of students.
Mhm.
yeah, they're gonna do their assessments, not only of the buildings, but their projections. We're doing side assessments right now. We're involved in that with an outside company, because as I mentioned during the presentation, there are some things they might not account for, that if a housing project isn't that far along, they might say, oh, it might not go to pass, it might not come to fruition, so they might not include it. We're working with other companies looking at, okay, there's a lot of housing going on, and when they say it's gonna happen, for the majority of the time, it's happening.
Mhm.
So we'd be able to compare those numbers to get comparable data between the two, that if, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if the OFCC comes back and says, well, your numbers are gonna be up to here, but we're forecasting up to here, there could be some discussions and saying, hey, we're looking at this data. this developer has come in, they've already done A, B, and C, they're planning D, E, and F. Those discussions would take place and the OFCC would review it and give their.
And the OFCC said they would consider those,
Most definitely.
because they did not consider them in the past. We've made those same arguments with Carriage Trails 2.0, and they did not, they would not consider it.
So we're having,
Is that is Valerie from the OFCC?
Correct.
The same Valerie that was our Valerie?
Mallory Montoya. Does
Yeah,
that sound right?
yeah.
okay. Okay,
But
We,
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
was gonna
sorry.
say, sorry, we were just thinking that she had retired or had moved or, was not involved anymore. So it was, that's why we're just asking again. It's the
well, he
same
said a bunch
Valerie.
of people had left,
Yeah.
not all of them,
There's
but a
been
bunch of
some
people.
changeover
Yeah.
and people changing positions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, But the great thing is the re-engagement with them, it doesn't lock the district into anything. And the free assessments, the free projections, the free master planning thoughts based upon numbers they're seeing from current bids will give you real numbers where we can not only talk of options of saying, okay, if you do a new school or if you demo and build an addition, they will put that information together showing how it would work for the district. And we've had in-depth discussions about various strategies. One school district, we had, I think, 4 concrete plans, and they all seemed viable. Once you started getting into the discussions of what the present needs were and where the future was going, it clearly locked into one, and we had to modify it a bit just to take a little from A to make it work, but it's never, no one's ever gonna come and say, you just need a new high school. That's gonna solve all your issues. There's gonna be so much data and backup information where anybody looking at it would say, yep, that's the right choice. That's what needs to be done.
What's that timeline like typically?
Well, we're gonna put the application in, coordinate with the school district, put the application in for the ELP, the re-engagement. I think she said for the assessments, so 2 to 3 months for assessments I have in my notes. So I think within that time, we would not only do the assessments, but we would re-engage just conversations back and forth. So I don't think you would have to wait the full 3 months. You'd get some data in between where we can have some progress meetings and discussions, maybe here or with the board, just to continue updating, saying, this is what we received so far, and go from there. So I think end of summer, early fall is going to be a big push to just gather data. We're not only going to get stuff from the OFCC, but we'll be getting in the next few weeks, we'll be getting the projections ahead of the OFCC information that we're working with this side company.
You guys are heading that up, correct?
Correct. I'll just keep talking, sorry.
Yeah.
No, no.
Try to soak it all in.
No, yeah, I know it's a lot, and I'll give you guys all my card. If there's a side conversation or question that needs to take
Right.
place, please feel free, or go through Mike, however it is. We love what we do. I'll speak for the firm all together. I'm not just the only one there. You met Melanie already, but there's a lot of others. We've been successful in various school districts we're not the type of firm that comes in and says, this is what you need to do. I just want to make sure that is evident right from the beginning. We need the information, we need the data, we need to hear from all of you. We need to hear teachers, staff, whoever, even the students themselves, positives, negatives, things they need. We've already started those conversations with a lot of the staff fall early last year. But we're not only going to look at, I think, new school or addition or whatever it is, but just master planning of the entire site. Because I know parking, site circulation, not only for vehicles, but for pedestrians. I think anytime you're engaging like this, you need to look at the master plan and say, okay, we're going to do A now, but we need to set up infrastructure for if it's a new field house or practice fields, whatever that is, bus garage, different things like that, auxiliary storage buildings for maintenance, whatever it is. So we need to be thinking globally across the entire site. There's quite a bit of land here. So I never want to just say we're focusing on a school for that extension. Let's look at the whole site and see what we can do to save cost as well, because you've got contractors on site, engineers on site, different things like that. If you can look at this globally and plan for the future while you're doing this, you're not paying that like remobilization charge to bring a contractor back on site to do something later. If we're running electrical, if we're running plumbing, sanitary somewhere, maybe there's extensions or something sized for future growth as well. All of that is going to be taken into consideration as well. Any other questions? Sorry.
No,
I'm talking
I
a
love
lot.
it. Everything you just said
I'm talking a
is
lot.
exactly what I pushed for years and could not get anybody to do it. Having a long-term plan, mapping out the site, just everything you said, it's beautiful. I
I wish
love it.
I wish I would have bumped into you earlier. I'm sorry. I'm
Are you for
sorry.
2-story buildings? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just the cost to build on top,
Verticals is cheaper.
well, I mean, and think of your
Sorry,
roofs.
I'm kidding.
Oh, sorry. But think of the roof assembly. You're limiting the roof area that you need for roof replacements. And if you're already at the foundations building up, it is most cost effective. Even if you have the land, because like we built on some tight sites. We had a school that needed to be torn down. And we literally built on the site and it was like a postage stamp. So it's possible to build a full new school while the other one's right here and like 20 feet away. And then you tear that one down and the new school is there. You have the opportunity with the full site to do pretty much whatever you want, but I wouldn't say, oh, let's just use the site. I would definitely go 2-story, especially if you're thinking high school or if it
Yeah.
goes that way.
Bigger.
Just the way you can stack, you could stack restrooms, you could stack mechanical, you could stack teledata. It's just ease for
Oh, yeah.
for making out and having those connections on multiple floors.
The only one that doesn't like it.
Sit-
I said, the only ones that don't like it are the teachers who are gonna be in there, because it sounds like Buffalo's about me. I'm just.
Yeah, that's how we
No,
got.
no,
I know.
That's exactly how.
you're saying the sound
Yeah,
between levels.
yeah.
Oh, there's sound dampening, there's structure we
Yeah,
can
now
talk
it's
about.
totally
That's,
different.
yeah, you can,
Well, they're used to a 100-year-old building.
It wasn't the sound, it was the stairs. That's what.
Yeah, that's true. That's another part of it.
They need the
Yeah.
exercise.
we could,
That's part of it.
we can take that all into consideration. Sound attenuation
That was for the
panels on the
littles.
walls,
Yeah.
different things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
elevators and
It's
stairs,
a little-
they're pretty much the only negatives of
No,
Fair.
You're right, it
multi-story.
was.
It's because.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I agree that the pros outweigh the cons in most places, yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And anytime you make it linear, you've got the chance of, you got a lot of travel time too,
That's another thing to take into
depending how
consideration.
big the
And
facility is.
security wise, it's
Yeah.
How much a person in band has to travel all the way over
Right.
to a noisier section of the building potentially to go to band and then make their way back over here to the classroom. If things are stacked where your classrooms are in one area, I can probably show bubble diagrams, but I don't want to take the time to look it up, where we'll do those bubble diagrams showing, okay, here's your academic area, here's your kind of noisier area with your gym, with your assembly spaces for cafeterias, things like that. Again, all that's into consideration. We've even looked at the buildings here of just what you could do for the space. I know you've moved the, was it 5th and 6th
Mhm.
over, went up there and see, it's great what you guys did. I mean, from those rooms, when I walked in there, especially the one up on the
Crow's
backside
Nest.
that was used for storage of like wardrobe and everything. I opened the door when we were here the other day and I was like, wow, what they turned this room into. It's amazing what you guys are doing. So it's great.
Yeah,
It-
thank you.
It's amazing what you're doing
Yeah.
to utilize the spaces and the changes that happened pretty much over the summer. But if we want to engage in other conversations of what you can do now, we've looked at like even what's here, so you've got the white paper there. Like, it's a simple stuff with graphics, different things, and not saying to use this, but just graphics you can put up for safety and security. That would be my big focus right now of, it's just allowing students to focus inside the room rather than seeing out. And then on the back side, this could easily become
Whiteboards,
bingo.
I already know, yeah.
So that could become, oops, sorry, it's a drone shot.
Mhm.
You can do whiteboards on the inside, so you have more teaching wall as well as an opportunity.
Mhm.
Just the safety and security. If I was a student, just feeling like a kind of fishbowl-ish, being in there. So that would just be my only side comment as well. We not only want to look at future, but what could we do now rather than cost effective, where you're not taking out glass, you're not taking out the storefront. Just eliminating that visual connection to the corridor where, hey, you're looking at, oh, there's my friend going down the hallway. Maybe as a possibility, just throwing it out there. I know I'm talking a lot, probably fast, I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Before you go too far forward, can I just double check?
Yeah.
I just want to confirm again, so FMD did draft the letter that should go to the, and will maybe potentially eventually go to the director of the OFCC, and you've given that to Mr. Nutter for a review?
Mr. Nutter sent us a
Oh.
draft
Backwards.
and we added some points to it to be specific. And said stress a few additional items in it. So a couple things were general and I wanted to be specific. Tell where you were in 2015. Tell where you are right now in 2025. Put that specific data, even if it's a bar chart or something that you know, put it in there as support in that letter. Rather than just saying, we're a growing district or we're growing extremely, people take that to different accounts, so.
I came, 2014 was my first year. And K-12, we were like right under 1,000 or at
I was
1,000.
about to say, you're probably a sub 1,000.
And within those 10 years, we're what, 20 something? Yeah, so we've more than doubled,
Yeah,
which is, unheard of.
and I can't believe you've actually maintained what you've been doing. It's astounding, and it's a story that needs to be told.
Right.
So that's where we're wanting to get legislation, people out there that might not be
948.
knowing about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were just shy of
You're at
1,000.
948 and you're at over 2,000 now. right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we
Rapidly
more than
moving
double.
towards 3.
Yeah, and a lot of years were,
It's gonna happen
handful of
again.
years were double digit growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And then, if
No,
I
go ahead, yeah.
may, that is for the exceptional needs use, or can it be used in general?
Say that, say that.
Is the letter that is being drafted,
The letter.
is it specific for applying for that one particular?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. That's what I
Yep.
took away, but yeah, thanks.
Again, the exceptional needs is more towards the building conditions, but with what we have here, it is an exceptional need for student growth that needs to be, I think, pushed forward, and the burden of these early funds shouldn't be placed on the district with something that's being put in your lap of having to deal with. So that's why we're trying all we can, getting in contact with the director of OVCC, whatever legislation we can get in contact to get some momentum behind us. Because the people we talk with at the OFCC, like Valerie, they can do what they're told from higher ups, and that's pretty much what they can do. But if we can get to the higher ups and change that mentality, or change and get some kind of feedback and change in what Valerie can do and can accept, that's our goal.
And that's how we do it with our legislature and our Senate and all that, to get them to apply the pressure to say, look, we've seen this, we know they're hurting, they need this now.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts and trickles down.
You're doing a great job at managing, but sometime soon that managing isn't gonna work out.
Right.
and student classroom population is gonna grow. You're already having to combine some classrooms where teachers has another classroom coming in that we've heard about. We need to get ahead of it. So
Mhm.
that's where we're pushing both of those paths.
Mhm.
We gain from both of them. The ELP, we gain all that data and the exceptional needs. If that comes to fruition,
Mhm.
So for the
Yeah.
exceptional needs, do you have the input from DEC yet? Because that's what will matter to the OFCC, right? If you can get the developer to say, here's the schedule we're gonna develop these houses on, and here's how many students. You know, we know how many students they produced in the past, so we know if we have those numbers, then we can make a very good projection. And OFCC will accept that because it's in the works.
so the company we're working with for the current projections does reach out. I haven't done that specifically, but that's what they do. They reach out to developers, reach out to kind of what the what's out there and what's coming, because there might be some things that even the public might not know about. So they do in-depth research on what's upcoming.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
And so that's already ongoing. I mean,
That is ongoing.
no, I was just gonna say, is that gonna be included in the letter? Because that shows
information.
the
information.
kind of growth that is exceptional.
That's where I'm saying the data, we're talking about the letter to legislation and the director, that don't just sit, and these were some of the comments that we responded back to, we're kind of discussing. So of not just saying we're growing rapidly, but putting that data in, showing where you were in the 2014, 2015 below 1,000 and where you are now, putting that in, but then also stating, based upon what we get from the student projections, we'll be able to include 5-10 years down the line. So they'll not only see past to present, but they're gonna see present to future.
With those projections, that's what I'm saying. If we have the numbers from the developer, that's what will matter to the OFCC.
Yeah,
Because
but I-
they let us include Carriage Trails 1.0, the part that was already in progress, if you will, but not Carriage Trails
Yeah,
2.0.
who did this projection here these last 5 years?
That came from the treasurer and
I think the treasurer
Cause
did.
if, I mean, a flat line at 5%, you got 9, 8, 10% growth, and then you flatline at 5.5%. We know it's gonna be much more
it's
than
gonna be
that.
more than that.
Yeah.
Well, but probably, maybe those years might be good. It just might be, because that's what
So
we
this
have
is,
to know.
that's 25 through 30. That's the next
Right,
5
so it'll
years.
probably be more starting 2 years from now, right?
Right.
Because when Carriage Trails 2.0 actually starts selling houses and gearing up, and
I guess I'm asking,
gonna
what's
get
the
more
formula
bids.
they use to calculate that?
I don't know.
And that's what the enrollment projection will do with Ryan,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those numbers that you're wanting,
which would incorporate the
they're gonna be,
information from the developer.
Maybe they took this
they're gonna
5-year
be
average, I
baked,
guess.
they're gonna be baked into those projections. You're gonna.
Yeah, I'm
have-
just asking, that's why I was asking, are they getting input from the developer and are they including
Yeah,
that
yes,
information
yeah.
with the letter? Because that's hard data to the OFCC.
Yeah.
Us saying, we know Carriage Trails 2.0 is coming
Right.
and here's how many houses it's gonna be because of the in
Projected
a
data.
meeting,
Yeah.
they don't
It's not
care.
hard data.
But if it's something from the developer,
Yep.
then they know it's good.
And to clarify, we are writing the letter. The district needs to put with
Correct.
coordination through you guys, like it's
Correct.
on us as a district to put that information in that letter together to present to legislation and OFCC and all that.
It's a bigger impact if it comes from the school district
Yeah.
itself
Right.
rather than somebody.
We'd had this conversation when Mike and I had met with you guys last, like, on the Zoom call. And I had shot over just a very generic, like, rough draft start, but.
It's a great
if
start.
We can continue to go on that, and I can share that with the group if you want me to. It's really, really rough, and he gave me some feedback on what I'd already kind of said.
Yeah.
But that as we continue to grow, I think it would be a good idea to have this group come up with that as well, and have it on that of what data points do we need to put in there? What kind of story do we need to tell that is going to have the most impact at a state level that's going to help us?
Yeah.
So I've kind of started that a little bit, just
Right.
I
just out of the conversation we had, but
I'd say that the data, some photos of what's occurring. So a photo is gonna say a lot, where you're not gonna have to write words about how cramped things are or how tight things are. the data, the photos, if there's some quotes from teachers, from staff, from the board, that's helpful as well. We will help wordsmith that draft and make it a solid letter.
I got another question for you.
Yeah.
So I couldn't come to Monday's meeting, sorry.
It's okay,
Um,
no worries.
So my other question is, by the way, I was on the school board when we did the ELPP, so
Okay.
that's where all my information comes from, which some of it I guess has changed, but my other question is, has anybody ever asked the OFCC about not giving up the old buildings, at least for more time maybe? Because here's the thing, so we build a new K-5, right? We move the students out of this building into that building, but we didn't gain anything, right? Because it's the same size building as there. So the idea was supposed to be we backfill into that because we have to get rid of that building. So that's why I'm saying we don't gain
Right.
anything, because they
It's
basically,
just newer.
they basically projected the same number of students, I think about 40 more or something over a 10-year period, because they assumed that Carriage Trails would not happen. So when Carriage Trails 1.0 was done, that was it. So anyhow, so now we have a building that eventually we're gonna have to give up or not use for students. So, you know, that's the thing is when we build the next building, it's gonna be the same idea, right? We're gonna be getting more space, but then we have to give up space that we're moving those students from. So has that ever been asked? Like, can we push for that too, that maybe some
Still
of this?
maintain some of that.
Well, that we can use it for students. Even after we get our 80% share, I'm saying, because that's the point that we have to give it up, right, is when we get the money.
How are we in compliance with that building now? We're-
You
we're
know, we're
okay?
not, it's not sprinkled, so, you know, they have to
Right.
do a monthly, you know, but everything's got,
You are
you know, pull
you are
stations and-
grandfathered in.
Well, I
yeah,
understand that.
right, yeah.
So, but here's the thing with the master plan from the OFCC. Like I said, there could be 4 different versions and those get changed over a while. It can include potentially keeping existing buildings, especially if you're saying, well, we're not gonna put any renovation cost into it, we're not gonna put anything into it. They're gonna be open to do whatever you want with the building. We will just work with the school district that, it was OFCC and, they were gonna demo a building. Just demo. But a school district had, offsite, they had an older building that they were using for admin offsite. And they said, well, this building that we're gonna demo, this is the middle of the project, mind you. This building that we're gonna demo is newer than this failing building over here. Can we keep some of this building and move into this building that we're gonna demo? OFCC reviewed it, said, sure, yeah, you can do that.
Because it wasn't students. If it's administrative, we can keep those buildings forever, and we can put storage in there, we can put administrators, but we can't use it for students.
Right.
That's what we were told.
You can't use it for students?
No, you can't have classes in there, you can't have gym in there, like, we have to give up even what's now called the middle school gym. Even that was not acceptable to the OFCC to keep. So we could use it for, you know, practice or something, but you can't have gym in there, you can't have gym class.
I think we would re-engage and have that conversation.
Different now, I think.
Yeah, I think understanding what you're going through and that space is extremely valuable. With the conversations we've been having, I think it would be further open to, okay, what can we keep and maintain, maybe add some cost to, just to maybe if there's some roof leaks or something like that that need to be fixed, or HVAC that could be upgraded, some ventilation probably in that lower level basement area.
It wasn't that simple. If we wanted to keep them, we had to bring it up to their standards, OFCC standards, which would be cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Right, so, but I mean, that's why I'm asking, can you add that to your list to
I think.
talk to them
I
about?
think for where we're discussing right now, everything is on the table. Especially showing what you did to those rooms to bring them to that classroom level, shows that they're viable. I know there's not an elevator and different things like that, but you had the same Epson in there. I saw the whiteboards, I saw the new carpet, the desk. It's a complete classroom for what you did. I don't think anybody could argue that it's operational and it's working. Knowing where you are, I think they would be open to maintaining at least a portion of those facilities. We would definitely push for it as part of the master plan, or at least one option of the master plan.
Okay, I'd like to hear it from them because they were adamant about, I mean, I hear what you're saying about the classrooms, but it's the other problems, right? The leads and, everything that OFCC makes you do. I mean, you gotta have certain blinds and,
For leads a completely different animal. Yeah, for new construction and other things like that, but with the existing building and,
yeah, but they have a whole list of things you have to bring up to their standards. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying, can you
Yeah,
ask? Because
most
I don't think it's gonna be as simple as I'm saying, okay, maybe it will be, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Cause that changes the
dynamic.
that
of it
changes a
all.
big picture.
Understood.
If they take into account the projection numbers that we know are coming, and that is a factor in what they're going to fund us on and what we build, we won't have to make the same decision of swapping space for space, 1 for 1, right? 1,000 kids, we're just moving. We're building, maybe we build an elementary school. If we go back to what we just did, that elementary school gets built for 1,800 kids instead of 1,000. Now we don't have to backfill. So if we're gonna build a 912, for example, we're building it large enough to account for that future growth so that as the high school kids come in, there is no need to fill the high school kids here. So this becomes.
But
Yeah.
here's your issue with that is that you build a school for 1,800 elementary kids.
Right.
So now at the same time, you're getting a bunch of new middle school kids and a
Right,
bunch
right,
of
right,
high school kids. So where do they go? They have to backfill into those places.
Right.
So you're still swapping till some point when you get enough classroom space to demolish the old or not use it for students.
And that's why with the projections and the master plans from the OFCC, we are not gonna just look at a certain grade level.
Yeah.
It needs to be across the board.
Mhm.
How is everybody impacted? So you're not just a Band-Aid here and then I'll Band-Aid it again and so on and so forth.
Well, the 23 million was supposed to go to the next building, right? That was the
That was
plan.
the rest of the master plan,
Right.
correct? Yeah. But
Well, it wasn't a building, it was an add-on to this building.
correct, after the demo, that southern stuff.
No,
But
not after the demo. We were allowed to keep everything until everything was done.
I'm just noting what Valerie said at the meeting. She was thinking that some of the structures to the south were gonna be demoed and they were gonna add on. She just mentioned that. It might not be the case. It was just in passing for what she noted. But kind of married in to the master plan are locally funded initiatives, different things like that. So there are things locally funded, potentially even with that 23 million or a portion of it, where you could do for upgrades for the existing building potentially as well. Where you can say that existing, it's outside of the master plan, we're keeping it, and you can do some upgrades or whatever you want to bring it up to whatever level. All those will be in conversations and discussions,
Yeah.
Nothing to be finalized tonight, but to be discussed, basically.
I was gonna ask one thing about the potential letter. Do you have a target date? Do you have a goal to when you'd like to have all that new
Yeah,
data and
I-
it ready to be mailed in or?
I'd like to see
Emailed over?
just the continued draft, but I'd like to get the student projections for the 5-10 year forecast.
We should have those this month though, right?
We should have them very soon. I reached out, I haven't received word back yet, but I'm pressing on them. I just want to show that past to present to where the future is. I think it's gonna make an impact where someone's gonna say, we can't sit idle at this, we need to do something.
And I'll contact the politicians and director like we talked about.
Correct, yeah. So keep pushing that draft. Feel free to, I would float it to the team or send it over to us. At any point, we can help wordsmith or add to it.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of photos, drone shots, interiors. We've been through every single room in every building. So if there's something, hey, we need this, we'll help out
You
however.
get all the drawings, they got it, Melanie and Tim have everything.
Yeah.
Did you get some new photos of the new area when you were up
I
there the
did.
other night? Okay, good. So you really do have all the photos you
Yeah.
think you need then?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we wanted to see, we heard students removed and I was like, that wardrobe room up there, I was like, what did that turn into?
It looks totally different,
It is
doesn't it?
amazing. I opened the door, I was like, wow, this is shocking what you guys did. It's amazing.
You will see something else shocking. You see an open house next door. I
Oh,
just came from there. I was. I tried to get out of there. I'm like.
Parking all the way in the grass, all the way out.
Yeah.
the road.
So now we-
That's
Yeah,
why
I
I was
said
late,
you
so
could
yeah,
just see
sorry,
it.
but it
Wild.
took me 45 minutes to get out of there.
And you could have, I don't know, did you walk over? Cause it would have been just as easy, right?
I
To-
drove.
Yeah.
I parked in front of the Kona machine. I illegally parked in front of the Kona. truck. But I'm taking this spot. I'll be back. I'm not parking out in the back 40. I'm gonna hurry.
Jeez.
I was gonna ask, do you need anything from us short term for, like, you kind of already mentioned the draft, you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
teachers and
Well, we're gonna get that,
staff.
the ELP application back
Have
to you
anything they
for
wanna-
signature and
Yep.
we'll get that moving forward. Cause that's the first step to officially re-engage back.
Re-engage.
So we'll get that going, get the draft moving forward with a letter. I'm gonna follow up with student projections. Those are kind of the big action items right now. But I would also say, is there anything low hanging fruit, like the safety and security of the glass, that might be something that could be funded if desired?
Yeah, we talked about that. The film, just putting the film on these. You know.
It could be a nice design exercise where,
Well, it won't, it'll be less of a distraction,
yeah,
be safer.
yeah.
This is horrible.
And then you get a whiteboard on the inside.
Yeah.
It could be, students could be involved, kind of artistic of, oh, what's this corridor? Or are there certain themes for different things? Just a way for students not to say, oh, they covered up and we can't see out, but engage with the students and let them take some ownership in it. Maybe, I'm just throwing stuff.
Just tell
We're
them.
getting ready, we've already got a company that did the graphics for the outside, just the outside
Yeah.
stuff that they're gonna start soon. We had talked about the film got put in, I think, last year for the inside stuff for the, but they're getting ready to do some of the graphic stuff that's already in the works. And then
Nice.
I know Damon's, we've talked about, yeah.
VPP out of her.
Yeah, I don't know
sales is
if
the
you've
company.
used them before, VPP out of her sales.
But it's just, those were a few of the comments when we met with the staff that came up,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
just for the staff to see some movement and,
Right.
and things like that, it does wonders.
Has anybody ever, I'm just curious, really counted the number of panels that would need the? I didn't know you
I have,
found, you know,
I
did
have,
that when you
I
were
have
here.
not,
Did you
but
walk
we've
through
got photos where I could probably put that together. I would still leave the upper
Yeah.
open, just so you have that visual, and plus you're saving on material that you wouldn't need.
Yeah.
That would be my only comment related to that.
What do you think of the white paper?
I like it. I like it. It's,
Right on.
Right on, it's like a whiteboard.
Screen on the bottom.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's
It's my office space cover.
yeah, I was wondering for the back corner.
Coming in.
Decorated for the glass itself, right?
Yes.
Does anybody have any additional questions that they would like to ask Tim or have him now and then or follow up and then as he mentioned in the meeting, and I know as you were starting to come, as everybody was starting to come in, he shared this copy and
Yeah, the digital version that I gave you of the OFTC square feet costs.
Oh, perfect.
Just for reference for everybody.
yeah, that's nice. And I didn't know if anybody had any additional questions. Sorry on the,
No, you're fine. No, I'm glad you got that, because you got because they have the document you put together from when you interviewed everybody, right?
Yeah.
The planning doc.
Yeah.
They've got that. Then they've got the stuff from Valerie. You've got, and
Yeah,
then,
her-
and then you've got the projections. So so my question just is for future reference, like if this committee has questions or, how do you how do you wanna do the communication? You want it to go like to Damon sends you want it to go to you? I mean, what works, so you don't have 20 emails going from different people, and I don't know what.
It's
was
probably
being
as
said.
one point person,
Yeah,
if it comes through you, but, I'll get texts or emails all types of times a day and different things about.
No, it's not like
random stuff.
you're good at getting them, I'm just saying, so we all know as a committee here, what the questions were.
Yeah,
So you're not to send it back out, hey,
Yeah.
so-and-so asked
I
this.
filter through and just go, but
Damon just.
don't,
I think
Send it
that'd be
to Damon.
good.
I'll just state this, don't be afraid to ask questions,
Yeah.
or, hey, this came up. It's not really an official question, but we just want some feedback or some thoughts on it. School districts, treasurers, whatever, reach out all the time, please feel free. Just reach
Yeah,
out.
cause you get a question, then you could send it to the whole group, right? And say, hey, this question got asked, and you can reply.
Yeah.
Some way that for everybody to communicate, instead of getting 20 different emails.
That makes sense. And that way you can broadcast it out to the people, 'cause if I respond back and I miss a certain person, I would hate to do that, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I have
Thank
another
you.
question.
Yeah.
This may not be to you, but who's working with Huber Heights to get the money toward the school that they promised us?
Bob Hancock.
Okay.
In fact, I have a meeting Friday, I think, with Huber. But Hancock started working on the NCA, and we've got legal involved. There's a set of attorneys that the district uses for taxes and property tax and all that stuff. Okay.
That's a interesting path, just for everybody's knowledge. We're not part of that, so
No.
if you need help or anything on that, you can engage in that too. But
They promised a lot of money and said they would front load it after we complained a bunch.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but if the exceptional needs doesn't move forward and the ELF does, where you would need front end, if they could come in
That
with
could be the
that.
front end.
It's Friday at 10:30, Julie. Huber Heights, Bob Hancock, myself, Assistant City Manager, Huber. And legal counsel. And Bob's giving you guys some updates on the NCA, remember at the board meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah, you just,
it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so gotta keep
just-
our eye on those guys.
yeah, a few, yeah. Thanks. And that was a nice way of putting it. So that was a nice way of putting it. I probably would have used a different word.
I get
Next agenda item,
Yeah. Well, I think I cut you off, when I started talking about the draft letter, so I was gonna take you backward. Did you have some pictures or anything that you kind of wanted to show us? You acted like you were gonna, maybe you had something else to share, but if not, I don't wanna, push you.
not specifically,
I
but.
just thought maybe I interrupted you. and your
No,
train of
no,
thought
I was,
there.
just some of the graphic stuff that we, like, I mean, if there was a certain route we need to look at. But just that we're ready to push this forward, but also, again, with what you're doing on the inside. When we talked to teachers and kind of had those discussions, there's some rooms that could be divided more, or could be set up for some smaller kind of learning areas. Or just some open spaces in the back that are not really utilized as much. So if there's a need while we're doing all of this for the new construction or whatever, please let us know for how we can kind of master plan internally for what you already have. That's kind of all it's one step.
Okay. Can you give us a, like an outline of what will be in the master plan? Because when we did the master plan for the FCC last time, when we joined the ELPP, it was slim. I mean, basically it had to have a plan of where that new building was gonna sit. And that was about it. So-
It's a multi-page document that should have multiple columns for each kind of master plan. that's being discussed. It talks about what happens to the existing buildings, what they are, how many students they have, their age, what's needed to renovate or bring them up. And then also it focuses on what new construction might be. It involves demo, an addition, or just a new standalone building. It's quite in depth.
The PORs are that too, right?
Yeah, the POR is related to that master plan of how each of those paths forward kind of plan out for the school district. But as we move towards that, I'm sure there's going to be not only discussions with us, but with the OFCC. Once they start drafting those, the school district might say, oh, well, that option's not possible because of this, this, and this. You're not going to be forced. I don't think you're going to be forced into a single one saying, oh, you have to do this. We're definitely not going to say that. And I think the OFCC, knowing where you are right now, will be flexible with that as too.
So is there
But
a
they're in depth.
template then? Sorry, kind of in line with that. Is there a template to follow or?
It's produced by the OFCC. They'll give all the data and information. We will help analyze it with you, also discuss it with the OFCC.
I think they'll give us options
Yeah.
at this point.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah,
Before we have, I mean, I think they're open to that now.
yeah. It's, I'll say, with your site having a lot of land, there's opportunities. Some of the smaller sites, it lends itself to maybe one or two things. But with what you have for existing buildings and the different ages, for land, for potential new construction, there has to be multiple options to consider. Because if we go down a path where we're only looking at two, I think we're doing the future staff who are going to sit at this table and the future people, future board members, we're doing them a disservice. So it's a big moment for the school district, especially with being locked into that 20 local and 80 through the state. That's huge. And for them to confirm and say that's locked in. So if there's any hesitation or conversation out there,
Yeah,
Done
that
deal.
is good news,
it
because,
it is a done deal.
yeah, that's kind of not what we were told before. I mean, it could have changed. You know, I don't know. I'm just going by what this was years ago, right? So,
I mean, it's a great deal. Plus, there's a chance you can get some of that even rebated. I mean,
Yeah.
you start rebating, then you're down to even less.
well, I mean, they always said that we could get new projections, like they'd update the projections, and that would get us more money at the 80-20.
Correct.
So maybe that's just what this is. They're saying, well, if we go ahead with new projections,
No, you're already locked into the 80-20. They would
Yeah.
still do new projections to see if you can get even more.
It would only get better for us.
right, it would only get better. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's just included in that.
We're locked in 80 right now. So
Yeah.
80-20 split, we're locked at.
Yeah.
Way at.
And it's flipped from the decade ago.
Yeah.
Where you were putting 80 in.
So when the time came.
82.
pull it, or not,
Yeah, or it was probably even worse, yeah.
It was 82.
It's 80, so.
So you're in a very good position.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say with the growth of the students and everything, but with the state and with the funds. And it sounds like there's potential Huber Heights discussion.
Yeah.
There might be potential, so.
And like I said, the number goes up, we get more money. I mean, it's not less.
Yeah, it's,
Good place to be.
yeah, it's not a certain number, it's a percentage. So if that number goes up, they're gonna pay even more than.
Okay, cool.
Hope I answered. your-
Appreciate that. Thank you
It's a lot,
for coming.
a lot of information. It's familiar to me. I know it's kind of new and different things, so, but if there's questions, please filter them, or if something didn't make sense or you were thinking about it again, or something came up, please let me know. And
Good question. I don't know if you can answer this one. Valerie said that we're locked in until the master plan is done. When is the master plan done?
when you finish your next project.
Just the next project.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that was the first phase of it. You're in the middle of it right now. It's just moving along. That 23 million still just holding there as the credit that you basically have. So when you re-engage with the ALP for exceptional needs, whatever program moves forward, when you get to the end of that, this is gonna be the rest of that master plan. You're gonna finish that. and you're gonna close out your time with the OFCC for that period.
So we can't take the money then until,
Correct.
so, okay, so that's where, yeah, okay. Now I understand why you said we're still at the 80-20, because if we take any of that money, it's done, right?
Yeah, you can't close out right now. You're in
They won't
the,
let
you're,
you.
yeah, you're in the
Minor.
middle.
Yeah, you can't, we haven't finished all of it.
Right, I know we haven't finished it all. Well, yeah, but we were gonna use the money to finish it, right? So,
But still
be a
that,
catch 22.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a, the 23, what's there, I don't think would get you what you need.
Yeah, it will
Now,
not, it will
yeah.
not. And that's why we even built the elementary bigger. We put our own money into that, knowing that they would give us 80% of that back when we got there, because we knew we'd have more students then, even though they didn't, they said they couldn't include it. They had a formula. And that was based on the formula. So it'd be good if they were,
Tell you they're conservative. I mean, she said it.
Yeah.
We knew it. She said it.
Yeah.
Board meeting, they're more conservative on their formula.
yeah,
OFCC.
and it's
Which
a
they've
very
always had.
specific formula too, right? So it couldn't include, that's what they told us. It could not include Carriage Trails 2.0, even though we knew it was coming.
That's why we're doing the other projection.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna
Yeah.
press and push back on the data.
Well, the annexation is official now, so that moves it forward farther too.
There has to be a plan from DEC.
Well, it wasn't any of that though before, so you couldn't count on, I mean, it was just a.
Right.
It was an assumption it was coming.
Yeah.
There was no transaction of property or districts or anything. District lines.
At the time, they had put in for annexation.
But I mean, you
We
look
got
at
it
it
delayed.
in their defense, you look at it, you thought 07. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a development, a golf course and everything over there. In
Yeah.
08, it didn't happen, so.
Yeah, I think they did burned another.
Yeah, that was-
instance Where they put funds in and something did come to pass and.
And that's where this whole mess started,
Yeah.
right? Be a lot different district if that would have not happened.
Well, thank you, Tim. Again, if anything else, we'll funnel and make sure that, we can get that to you if anybody has any other questions, but.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Damon, you funnel them to Damon and Damon can send them back out to everybody with the questions, with the answers. That way we all know.
Questions to me, and obviously if we talk about things that pop up here that you need, and I can reach out.
Yeah.
You get the answers and then I'll bring it to the next meeting, or even share through email, just updated stuff as we go.
yeah,
Weekly, bi-weekly, in between meetings, whatever.
We're gonna start having those at the board meetings too now. I mean,
What's that?
These updates on facilities.
Yeah.
There'll
okay.
be a monthly thing because things are moving now. We got a lot to do.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was waiting for FCC to get here and.
Yeah,
and then-
Yeah,
things
now
are gonna
we're
start coming in and data's gonna start where
Projection.
we're gonna need to have ongoing discussions where we're not gonna be here 1 month and you're not gonna see us for another 4. This is gonna be,
Yeah.
we need to,
Steady diet.
we need to
Yeah.
push going into the fall so we can get an understanding of
Yeah.
where things lie.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for that. And then, I know it says, thank you for adding the recap of OFCC report. I don't know, we did talk about it a little bit. Several people were here to, watch and listen, firsthand, but if anybody after reading this had any follow-up questions. And we did have it recorded, which, were you able to hear her okay, Julie? Did you get to listen again today?
I started listening to it,
Okay.
but, it was a long meeting.
Yes, and she talked really fast.
You didn't-
She was like speed talking, so I want to go and listen again myself to what she said, because it was a lot to take in just that section, so,
I think she had a lot of information to give
Yeah.
and
Yep.
a lot
yeah.
to give it out and not
Right.
take up too much time. So
She did a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, she
she's
did.
great.
Yeah,
Value's
yeah,
amazing.
And she was on the back end of this first project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valerie, yeah, she
Yeah,
was there.
bet
That's
you
what I
was.
was asking,
Yeah.
yeah.
They did a
Yeah,
lot.
she was there.
What, 9 months to a year, I think.
yeah.
I think she came in right at the end, she said, well, stuff.
And so I don't know if anybody has any specific questions that relate to what Tim was talking about that we haven't answered yet, but um, if not, just in the spirit of time, because we did have a long meeting on Monday night, covered a lot of things, but
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Oh, the years is even long.
I don't know.
Was there any discussion with the OCC about, because costs went up so significantly since they estimated what it would cost, that we would get more money as part of our 80%?
Well, that's why the percentages are locked in, but these numbers of what they say per cost per square feet, these fluctuate. So costs have gone up, the numbers here, like for this 421 a square feet and 380 a square feet. I mean, those used to be low 300s, not too long.
Right,
ago.
but my question is, so it was a certain number when we locked in, right? And that's the number that they said we would get. Are we getting the new number or are we getting the number from 5 years ago?
You are not locked into previous numbers. They are going to say, if you're building up, I think she has a chart at the back. If you're building.
I meant for the building we've already built. I get for future buildings, it will be these numbers.
Oh, the credit
the-
that you currently
yeah.
have, the credit's locked.
Okay,
Credit's locked at.
because we spent a lot of extra money of our own
It was COVID.
to get it
Steel.
to where,
steel,
yeah.
Big spike in that.
To get it to where it was.
Yeah,
And we had always talked about going back to them and saying, hey, prices went up, like,
We did work with another school district that we were in the middle of construction and COVID hit. And they asked for a budget adjustment based on costs. I mean, it was hitting as we were going through it. And they did give a certain percentage increase. It was like 20-something% potentially. I don't know if it was across the board, but.
so it might be worth asking
But it
them, yeah.
was something, yeah.
Is that something that could go into the letter that we're talking about, that during, like, we were building during the construction was happening during COVID and increased costs and,
If you've got data for what you put into it,
yeah,
most definitely. You have to tell the story
yeah.
that,
We should be able to get that.
yeah. I tell the story of Bethel and what you've experienced, not only with the construction, but with the student increase and. Yeah, tell that story.
Any other comments or questions on the OFCC that we need to capture tonight?
I think I gotta listen to the.
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
replay
say,
First and
I-
then,
and I'm not sure exactly what time she started talking, but she said she went at least 25 minutes, so,
Oh, yeah.
so.
it's more than an hour into the
Yes.
meeting.
It was,
Yeah.
it was, yes.
So I didn't quite make it there yet.
Do it if you-
So my only question would be that if we need the 23 million to be the fund ELPP, how can we get that if we, hopefully that doesn't close it out.
Close out the current master plan.
Yeah,
It won't close it out. We're gonna go down this path where we're gonna finalize what the master plan is.
Right.
To move it forward. There's no threat of losing that 2080 or however you wanna.
yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually getting the money to spend it.
Well, that's why we're going down the accessional needs, where
Right.
if that comes forward, the money will come to you from the state. If not, you'll have to go to the ELP and front fund that, and then you'll get backfilled at the end.
So that was my question. If we need to front fund it, can we use that 23 million or does that then?
You'll have to come,
You could go through exceptional need, that's the,
yeah.
which I think they might do.
You will
That would
get,
be
you will
wonderful.
get money front end, yes.
Front end, front end.
Except exceptional needs, but if you go the ELPP,
Then we,
you have to, you're not gonna just get that 23 right off the bat. You're gonna have to come up with pretty much the entire project, and then you'll get the 80% of whatever the.
So maybe
project
that
is
needs to
then.
be in the letter, because that was, the plan was to take that money and put it towards the next construction. So if we can't use that money, then,
but that rule hadn't changed though.
I'm sure there could be discussions of, hey, we have this credit hanging out there. It's saying the exceptional needs doesn't move forward and you have to go to Owens Help and you're forced to figure out where to get the funds from and trying to avoid bonds or whatever. I'm saying it's going to happen, but I'm sure there could be conversations saying exceptional needs didn't work for us. You've read our letter, you understand where we are. This is exceptional, even though you're not wanting to identify with it. Is there anything that can happen with that credit that we already have that we can utilize to kind of front end some of this and lessen the.
Financial burden on our district.
Exactly.
And I still think you make a case for fastest growing district in the state.
Mhm.
Feels like it.
I think. we're
Valerie
third.
even was like,
He thinks it is.
Yeah.
You can't.
She doesn't,
Find that
she
specific
didn't have all the
data,
data, but
she thinks
I've been looking at this for a while and you guys, that's fast.
yeah.
Faster than old days.
Yeah.
That
We
says
were,
something,
we were third or
because
fourth.
they were like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the fastest. I
Yes.
mean, not volume, but percentage.
Yes.
Right? So it's like. Exceptional needs. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Go do it.
I'm glad Mel brought that up for her to kind of speak to it, because I think it was something that
Mhm.
we wanted to make sure kind of was out there for discussion rather than just trying to force us down the help route.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thank you, Mel.
Yeah.
I just checked, Valerie's presentation starts at the hour and 10-minute mark.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I started
You might just want to
clicking
skip the
ahead. to
First
try to
hour and
find
10
it.
minutes, you go right to that.
Yeah.
About
Not our,
3
not our
hours.
highlight
It was
reel.
Oh, so that.
Well, not- but I'm-
It was long. Yeah.
But once you view it,
See
if
Mike's
there's
word,
questions.
watch that
please-
Yeah.
first hour.
please
Okay.
I'm like, roll tape.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through it again myself. So we'll keep moving on thank you. We'll move on to the next. I think that, we kind of answered some of
Need
these.
to backtrack.
Oh.
Here.
Oh, I did forget that because, sorry, introduced
Sorry,
him and we
we're
jumped right
into
into
it.
his
Okay.
report.
Just to make sure
I'm sorry.
just to make sure
Oh,
everything's
yeah.
okay with it.
And then Julie passed out the minutes for the June 18th and the July 16th meetings. And I don't know if anybody got a chance to look at it. If you find any corrections, we don't do an official approval, but please take a look at those, and if you see anything that's outstanding that we didn't capture or maybe missed something. When I went through, I didn't really see anything, but
Well, you said you didn't get anything back for the June 18th. We only pushed that from last time because there were so few people here
Yeah.
last time. That
Yeah.
you wanted more people to be able to say, yeah, it looks good.
that's,
And then.
thank you for helping me for that. Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah,
Yeah, if there isn't anything that you guys want corrected, then I just sign it and send it to the temporary treasurer. What do you call him? Interim treasurer? Bob.
Bob, yeah.
Anytime.
I send them to Bob, so
Bob,
he can file them appropriately.
Yeah, and I do need to work with him to get something set up, or with Shelley, however you would like
we're,
to keep our minutes online somewhere.
oh, that's treasures. That's Hancock.
Okay,
See, treasurer, what they need done. Rephrase that. What we need to start doing here is the treasurer's office he's secretary of the board. Treasurer's office takes care of agenda minutes, all that, right? We had done it because nobody was there to do it.
right.
But typically, we're not secretary of the board.
Okay, so,
So that's, they have access to all the board docs. They do the minutes, they have all that, so they can easily upload that. Okay, yep.
thank you.
Jetta can, there's 4 or
Okay.
5 of them over there.
The treasurer has never done it for the facilities committee.
Yeah,
Interesting.
We weren't allowed to use the treasurer when we started.
You are now.
So,
Good.
but
We got a
the
couple.
treasurer is only responsible for seeing that they get done right. They don't have to actually do them. So it could
They
be,
do the board, the actual board ones. These they can just upload. They don't have to do
Right.
board minutes, yeah.
okay.
so that's why your comments, or if you find corrections, that's why it's important. So appreciate it. If you guys go back through, if you see anything, you can just email me or Julie, or let us all know, anybody on the email, and then we can make sure it gets corrected before we get them uploaded. That would be great. Thank you.
So we're okay with these two though? I can send them to him.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, from what? Rick, were you good down there? Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now plug
Thanks,
that.
Julie. Yeah, sorry. So apologize. We'll go back to item C then, under the discussion. So Julie did a nice job of capturing the items that we talked about last time, that things that we thought we still needed, information that was needed. It sounds like some of that is already coming together based on some of the outside sources and other activities that are happening. In different areas. So we'll just go through these. The total number of homes, we had a partial that we were working with. It sounds like that third party will be collecting that
They're-
plan
They're
from
collecting the local data.
DEC. So I think we can say that. Is it okay if I just for the minutes, the FMD third party, or is that okay, or how you want us to reference them?
I
Outside
just put
source.
enrollment projection.
Yeah.
Can we see the Keithler data when, I thought he was gonna give it to you,
What's that?
from Bill Keithler, that he was gonna provide you with their number of homes and how fast they would be built.
Yeah, he's getting it to me. I'm gonna give it to these guys. You can see it. He's got it all laid out.
When's he getting it?
So
to
you're
you?
still waiting on that then,
On
and
that
you're
side,
gonna give
yeah.
it to them.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily, I would like to verify, right? So the planners are doing, this is not just like OFCC with projection. I mean, it's a pretty detailed plan. And it's got a lot more in it. That'll be part of it, but I want to see what he says too. I'll give it to them. They can incorporate it in the document. Yeah, it'll get busy now.
And that should also include, I would hope, the timeline to build that out.
Correct. Different phases. yeah.
And,
So this is on the next page, though.
sorry.
Well, it's on the
Next
meeting.
page too. Oh, yeah,
I think
Okay, yeah,
there's
they're-
10 years left there
yeah.
for bills.
And that's good. I don't, sorry to jump, but item D does have a good, for CT1, some good questions that could be rolled into that projection. How many more homes do they have left to build, and what is this timeline for that? Yeah, what's that mix of units? Is it apartments and single family homes? That helps with the student projection as well. Just what's left of 1.0, it's hard to tell anymore. You don't know.
Right.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
I've
and
lost
plus
track of that.
you'll hear people say they're building this, they're building that. And
Yeah.
come find out they're not.
Is it the new or is it the old? Yeah.
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 Yeah, that'll all be in there.
And you think he's gonna be able to provide that pretty soon?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, let's see. And then, the plan, we talked last time, for long-term school building options, high school, middle school, elementary school. We were talking a survey, and we said, maybe not such a good, I want to say response is the right word I want to use, not turnout for a survey, but response. And then we decided that a town hall would probably be the best option for that. And And Mike, you had mentioned that you kind of wanted to have a general town hall anyway, and we were maybe thinking we could incorporate the two. If you had some items that you wanted to bring
Yeah, I
forward,
think,
so.
yeah, I mean, we've done those before. I think you'll get a large turnout for that.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be good to hear, be good for them to see and be good for them to hear and it'd be good to get their input.
Yeah, and I'd be sharing the data that
Yeah,
we,
too, yeah, I
that
mean,
we
David-
get. So we've been a part of those, not only with the school district, but with the community.
Mhm.
Putting information together. Once we start receiving data, we want to make sure we're sharing that with the community, showing what the school district's doing, the outreach. Once we start getting the master plans together, those discussions, putting concept sketches of what does 100,000, I'm just throwing a number out. What does 100,000 square foot building look like on the site? How could it fit? There's graphics that we can put together to visualize the text that will be in each of the master plan options. So people can start engaging.
Yeah,
with
I think
that as well.
that's important too, because we talked about moving the bus grads, right? We talked about moving the fields, we've talked of all these things, but you only want to do it once. That's,
We
you
were
know,
talking
10
earlier
yeah.
before you arrived of just, it needs to be a full master plan of the site that you're not shortchanging yourself by building something new where you have to demo it in 5 years to make room for something else that's coming.
which I've seen people do.
I have seen it as well, and it's just wasted funds.
Makes everybody real happy.
Just built that, what are they doing that for?
Yeah, I just think, because we've talked about that, because there's a lot of things that need to get done, and it's not, some are tomorrow and some are 2 years, 5 years, but there's a lot of opportunity here. And if you do it right the first time, this place will be great down the
You
road.
could set yourself up for decades.
So are you thinking that the town hall will be presenting information, or are you hoping to get new information
Well, you-
before
I-
we start building the master plan? Because that's where we were originally thinking.
We would like to, mean, what do you all want? I mean, typically town hall
Same.
meetings are, we give the information, what we've got to this point, right? Here's the data, here's what we've got. What would you like to see? And then we come back, then we've been historically, we come back, no matter who I've been working with, they come
Yeah.
back and they say, okay, here's what we heard, here's what we've got, here's some scenarios, here's some mock-ups, I mean, that kind of stuff.
That's what we've seen as well, rather than just having a town hall saying,
Yeah.
we have X amount of students, what do you all want to do?
No, that's a mess.
That, because everybody just starts talking and saying,
Right.
well, I
That won't work.
want to build a 4-story high school. Like, that's.
There's 200 people there with 200 different ideas, right?
Exactly. But if we get concrete data where you could say,
Here's what we got.
what in front of me makes sense. All right, let's go down this path. What's that path look like? What's this plan look like? So on. and
So the
forth.
discussion that we had last time, and it's probably mostly because we did surveys before. So the idea behind having the town hall is that if you get a survey, it has a question. But that question is worded a certain way. It doesn't discuss pros and cons. It doesn't have, like we're at a meeting, I can hear his ideas. I can hear your ideas. So you get led down a path typically with a survey, right? And I think that's what happened last time is in some of the questions, they were worded a certain way. So the idea would be to maybe present kind of a survey-like question, but with pros and cons. So kind of what you said, if you have a master plan with different options, that option would have both pros and cons of why you would do it this way or not do it this way. The 2-story building, last time the survey said 2-story building, but we didn't do it. We asked about a lot of priorities, right? Like you're talking about moving the fields over here. That was one of the questions on there, right? Should we move the fields? Are classrooms a higher priority? But it wasn't always worded the best way. So,
Do you have access to this still that you could share?
You
I
said
have,
Survey?
yeah,
haven't
I'm
seen
sure I
this.
have it.
I'm
somewhere
sure
on
you
my
do, too.
computer.
if you do.
I got something for you in my pocket there. It's probably- We're on video.
I just have like you to leave. It's been a pleasure meeting with everybody. today.
Appreciate that.
But he's right. I
But
will
it-
find that survey.
I just
To
say,
keep on track, we cannot run a town hall with like an open forum.
Right, it can't be. open,
It
but
can hardly even be a
it needs to have-
Q&A.
Suggestions.
You can bring suggestions, and then if those people have concerns about it, they can bring it to the next
Yeah,
board meeting,
Yeah,
open board meeting.
good.
And I don't think you can even have like,
Well,
here's a
yeah, we
ballot,
can discuss it next.
Yeah.
vote on the way out, because then that people actually
Yeah,
think
I'm not saying
that
I'm
voted,
just saying
'cause
that was
we
the
elected
reason-
these guys to make those decisions,
Going
right?
to the board meeting is key.
Yeah.
Where you start getting that.
But I think but to have an open forum more than people have to sit through all the meetings of a board meeting or all the minutes and everything else that goes along with it that gets dry. They can come to a town hall where it's just the raw data and some master.
And I
plans.
agree with you. Like I said, in the
Yeah.
past, we've had the data, we presented the data.
And there's gonna be some loudmouths that bring up a question no matter what, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but sorry,
Yeah,
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 and we had I don't know if that was taped back then, but it was very somewhat controlled because there were specific questions and said, if you had to pick between A, B, and C, rank them. And, you did it individually. and-
that's the survey I remember.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, we're demoing the building and building this, and then we had this scenario, and you had
Yeah.
4 scenarios and you went through and voted on it. Did we have a good turnout on it though? Or
About 200
response?
It wasn't, it was good. It was, I think it was representative. I mean,
Yeah.
even,
Yeah, I think if you get,
70 something.
yeah.
Town hall.
I think if you get 10 to 20%,
Presenting these possibilities and
Well, I
with
think
the
that-
master plans and the way you're saying and
Yeah.
getting feedback as you go. That's not an open
And the
forum, like
important
you
part
say,
too-
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mindy. The important part about a town hall is, like you said, I don't like, it's one of the same reason I don't like email and text, that somebody misinterprets the
Exactly.
the meeting,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Somebody- What I
That's
like
it.
about town halls is, like, for example, when I was superintendent, Mechanicsburg, we built that.
Mhm.
They had an 1894 building. It was beloved, had a
Is it
tower,
senior
bell
picture?
tower in it. Then, what's that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
We saw the fire truck, was like, oh, it must be senior picture night.
they're doing
It
the
is.
No, it's
banner
not.
part.
Is that
Sorry.
your black?
Yep. that's my-
You're gonna get,
Fire truck's
running-
taking you out.
Yeah. fire trucks will take you out if you don't
Tow
move it.
again.
Okay, I'll go move it.
They take it in front of the ice for there.
Well, you can be in the picture also.
Yeah, you're- My total truck.
Then the next superintendent, 60 seconds.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you park that. Kids, pay attention. But when we did the town halls like before in other districts, the open houses, what I liked was, okay, we knew we had to tear down the building.
Mhm.
They didn't like to hear it. We knew we had to tear it down because we were building behind it. But we got some dialogue out of there. We took the bell tower, we built another bell tower that looked like, it took that original bell and put it in there. But the important part was, I wanted to build up, not out. We had plenty of land donated from Saxby's family, but and we ended up building a 4-story facility. But the dialogue at the town hall meeting, we got to explain that as to why, right? It's so hard to do that
Right.
in
Oh, yeah.
other forums and other
Mhm.
formats. And it was great because they're like, oh, well, because we talked about costs, we talked about
Mhm.
maintenance, we talked about all those things that you don't really think of.
Right.
if you're
The
in-
pros and cons. That's
Yeah,
what
but
it's
you get that
talking
chance to have that
Yeah,
dialogue.
you
You
gotta
can't,
put the
you gotta be
film
careful
out.
with it though, because it comes a free for all, like everybody's got an
Right.
opinion. but
Right,
what
that's what
you're
I'm saying.
is
You-
that-
Right, exactly.
But you
Your
have to have it
presentation is the
structured.
presentation.
Yes, very structured.
But
So who do you see? I just want to say, who do you see running that? Just so. Did you know that?
Where you MC it and he
Well,
presents the
yeah.
data,
I've
right?
done them before.
I just didn't know.
We've done it for
Yes.
various districts.
I didn't know if you.
We,
that had come up
we,
yet
we've
or
done public meetings, convocation day when.
Yeah.
Different things, so that's not.
No,
foreign.
no big deal.
Not foreign, no, not,
Yeah.
but it would be a team. It wouldn't just be us there.
I would say you'd have like me, FMD, OFCC, you would have
He's
a
in.
group of people there that would
Yeah,
be.
of course. Yeah.
Board members
all the right-
representing,
Absolutely.
treasurer.
I
It's
don't know.
shown as a
Just like-
team rather than just,
Am I moving?
Yeah, he's getting impatient.
he's got.
You wanna get in the picture? Your vehicle in the senior
Yeah.
picture?
He's really wanting that super
Yeah.
60 seconds.
Yeah, he wants to be on the banner.
Oh, jeez.
The lighting has to be right and the time
So-
window is small.
Right.
It's a team and it needs to show that the school, that this is the push from the school district. Based upon the data and information from the professionals and the people giving you that information. This is what the district believes are the best options moving forward. That at the core needs to be what it's about. It's not about outside organizations, it's not about the OFCC, it's about you guys and your push for this moving forward.
So I have to ask then the timeline of that then. I know you
We,
guys,
we need all the data, so it's,
originally Mike had said, and I think at one of our school board meetings, he said September. I don't know, is that?
no, that's gonna
Yeah.
be, yeah, we're just re-engaging with the OFCC now, and they said 2 to 3 months for their stuff, so it's a ways away, still,
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
Think by the first of the year?
Potentially.
Yeah.
That'd probably be good too, in January or something.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many surveys there were, or forums there were there 2?
There was one survey.
So I've got the
Forums.
11 Porter survey.
There was actually 2 surveys, I think.
Yeah, I have Forum 2 survey results. That's what was given to me when I first started. That was like in May.
Okay.
Oh, my
So
God.
when I started in July, sorry.
It's all good.
It happens.
You kept it. Plow through. Keep going. You're good.
When I started in July of that year, they shared that information with me. Good idea.
Right.
So I found that one, but I don't have Forum 1.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
there
don't
was
remember
2
that one.
surveys and then there were meetings
Yes,
that, I think discussed the results.
yes. Couple board meetings even, I think there were some presentations from Garmin that were, but this was later down the road, once we went with Garmin
Yeah, we
Miller
went to
instead of
meeting
11
in
Porter,
Miller.
yeah.
I don't
But anyway,
remember.
Dude, the surveys are out. I have a copy of at least Forum 2 survey result, so.
Yeah.
I think that-
Feel free to forward them
We're
on.
gonna harass him.
I've got the survey
He found a
results.
survey.
Of course I'm gonna harass you. We're not an open forum. I wasn't harassing you. I just said I'm sure you can find it. I had confidence in you. That was all. It was a confidence statement. That's all.
That's funny. Oh, that's good.
I don't know, I mean, but you do need some community input. Like, you don't just want to present it one way and say, this is what the school wants, because that's what's happened in the past.
But we're not just presenting one path. We're
Right.
presenting-
No, I
we're
understand, but I'm
presenting
just
options.
saying that
And they can come
Yeah.
to the board meeting
you still gotta have some.
and have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're presenting the options.
Discussion if they
Again,
like.
it's never saying.
Well, that's what the facilities committee.
I'll send you all the notes from the Facebook page.
Oh, geez.
Because I run the Bethel Grapevine one.
Wow. And
Or the next
we've
door.
done- So just for everybody's
Yeah.
knowledge, we've done large groups, but if there's certain like community centers or things where we need to go to for smaller groups, we've done that as well. So just a heads up, it doesn't need to be
Mhm.
just, hey, 300 people. People really don't feel like they have that much engagement, and a lot of the conversations happen after the fact, like we're in the room and they'll walk up to us and we'll have smaller meetings.
Hmm.
If we need to have smaller groups, we can do that as well. We've done that for other school districts. So just a
I
heads
think
up.
the 2 surveys, wasn't one of them spending like the money we were gonna get and then the private fund kind of thing?
The LFI survey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm kind of looking through
I
it
think that's
now.
how they
This
were
is-
divided up.
This is more of like, how important is it to construct a new baseball field on the main campus? How important is it to,
That was the LFI one.
yeah, would you be in favor of constructing additional classrooms for each grade level? What options do you prefer for the auditorium? Those kinds of.
Right,
that's
that was
LFI, I
the
think, yeah.
LFI one. I think it was divided up between.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
what we
this is
had to
all,
spend with
now that you say that,
LFI.
this is all
Yeah.
LFI stuff, band practice fields, upgrading terrazzo flooring.
And as you're bringing up LFI,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
all of our conversation is related to the OFCC and what they're gonna fund for the academics. So the things that we're gonna master plan, we're gonna focus on those LFI items as well. We've got
Right.
contractors, CMRs that we work with, who the same time that the OFCC is updating their numbers based upon bids and things they're receiving. We've worked with other estimators, contractors, CMRs who have their numbers as well. So if you're talking about field house, more bleachers, different things like that, we're gonna help to get pricing on those items because it's not gonna come from the OFCC for that. So just a heads up,
Right.
we're not just gonna focus on this academics. The master plan is truly gonna be the master plan
Mhm.
for the
Yeah.
entire
For
site.
this, yeah.
But the reason I probably even got the surveys because it involves
Because
a
of
lot of
LFI,
athletic
yeah.
stuff, yeah, LFI stuff with some of the.
Yeah, organized he is.
Good.
Why we hired him is already an asset.
Pull it right up.
You weren't here when he got hired.
That was a new position.
Oh, okay.
Sid?
But he had it before, it was new. position.
Come on, Maddie, help me.
I'm trying to give him a little credit too.
Getting beat up.
But anyways, okay. So, and some of that will be, I'll just keep moving through this. Part of that will be also like the new building location. The type of building, the cost of the building. So some of those will come together. We'll keep working on that through this fall. The only other thing that we have on here is the short-term building options. That, you know, we've kind of talked about configurable and quick to need. We're covered for this year.
And I think we're,
You think
we can
we're,
absorb some growth next
we're
year.
gonna be able to absorb that and be ready
But
for
we need a building.
next year?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe keep that on the back burner and maybe reevaluate in a couple months if you see any change or when you get the development plan.
Yeah, and I think
does
along
that
with
look
the
like?
projection that we get along with those three items, I think when you put them together, you have a better idea.
It'll spark some
Yeah.
discussions.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But I do think we'll be able to absorb next year. We've got our car ratios are down. Student teacher ratios.
So this year and next year.
But I'm saying we gotta move, right? I'm saying we gotta get going.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it takes 3 years minimum to build a
know.
school, so you're probably gonna have to do some temporary or something,
Yeah, that's what I said when I got here. I was like, we got a building online?
Wow.
I was like, Let me work on it. But I mean, you've got that over there, right? So I'm just saying it needs to be, we need to push.
Yeah, you can't take a lull as a, hey, we got time to.
Cause you
extend
wait
this
2 more
out.
years because it's not a problem, or 1 more year because it's not a problem, then by the time it becomes a problem,
Yeah,
you won't be able to keep up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, we can do like a dual path that you're taking, you know, we can take a dual path too, you know, keep working on that and, you know, coming up with ideas and have them ready, shelf ready to go. If we need short term, just
Oh,
have
yeah.
them ready.
Yeah, as we talked about early on, I mean, there's still open spaces, and some other things where you can utilize the space more effectively if needed to turn them into classrooms. So let us know if we need to be a part of those or whatever. And then with the safety and security of the film, there's little mini projects that could probably take place.
And those could take place in the summer.
well, this
Yeah.
building was also designed to be added on to. So you can go north, which is a potential, maybe we build a few classrooms that will get us through another year until whatever
Yeah, cause this one and the elementary were built where they can be added on.
the elementary was not designed to be added on. It was not.
Sorry.
It's okay. You break my walk, yeah. Won't be part of
So you're
it.
saying on the
Yeah.
backside here,
Yeah.
bending over?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in fact, originally they were gonna pour the footers as part of the project and they took that money and put it towards other things. So it didn't get done.
The elementary, when we looked at the plan,
I was told it was, they took out the mechanicals and they could build addition. That's what I was told, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, the
Here?
second said the mechanicals was axed over there.
Mhm.
Over there, that was built for 1,000 students, and what we were told was that you probably really don't want to add on.
I'm
because
not
once you-
questioning that. I'm just saying that's what they told me when Garmin had mentioned,
That it was designed to add on.
could add on.
well,
Or somebody mentioned.
there
But-
are corridors aligned.
Right there where you were at.
Yeah, there's corridors aligned where you could
Right.
extend off.
Right.
It's not saying you're utilizing the same mechanicals and things that are in here, but
Right.
you might have a new mechanical room that would support the addition, but circulation wise, there are extensions lined up where
But then you have issues with the cafeteria and
it becomes a longer
But-
distance, correct?
not
But
just distance, it's the capacity, right? You have a capacity issue.
correct,
It's
but
better than trailers, though, because trailers are still cafeteria capacities and things like that.
yeah, but with just even the cafeteria, I mean, there's areas on this west side where you can blow out that wall and expand. Sure, you're probably moving that playground area, but there are things to consider that we can put together with easy bubble diagrams showing you what square feet could be applied, how to kind of expand. Again, we want to explore all
Yeah.
options and not just say, oh, no, we were told it can't be expanded. No. I don't want somebody to come back in a year, once we move forward with a project or something and say, why didn't you do that? I want to show here's a plan that we did. Here's another one.
For the
another one.
reasons, yeah.
We want data and hard information to show we fully did our due diligence.
I agree to look at it as an option, but I don't think that's gonna be the cost effective one. Because it wasn't designed for that and.
You're probably right with that statement, but we just still want to investigate. Good.
I just know who was closest on my head.
It's like. Okay. Sorry, so we're kind of working these together. I know I'd still like to visit Troy Christian schools. I know, Amy is still said once school started, she would work on trying to set that up. Did you go there, Todd? You've been there.
Yeah.
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 They're waiting on the fire. So
Okay.
volleyball.
Okay, so we touched on renovations, new construction, a swing space. I don't know if that's, maybe finding those open areas in buildings that already exist. Maybe not having to go to trailers, just keep that in mind. And then long-term classroom, I think we've kind of touched on that. All items 1, 2, and 3. If there's anything else that anybody wants to say about those. And then the site plan for campus. I wanted to follow back up. I didn't know if you, Julie, I know Jason and I think somebody else, maybe Rick, was you guys?
Todd.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had a chance all to meet to,
We did not. Well, I
No, we didn't, no.
okay.
We
Yeah.
just briefly talked about doing that, but it never happened.
Okay, I didn't know if you had, I hadn't heard. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Is that to capture the existing site or proposed projects?
Proposed.
Proposed.
We talked about this, yeah, see.
This is why I was saying, I have been pushing
Yeah.
for longer than a 3-year plan since back when.
Gotcha.
So to try to lay everything out, and a lot of it would include some of the stuff on the last
like-
page,
Yeah, like down
Yeah.
in
you know,
here.
to show where everything would go.
Yeah, if there's things we need to start looking at, just even based upon where the stadium currently is, and your thoughts of where things might lie just with the locally funded initiative stuff. Please, as a team, let us know. We can investigate that and start getting those pieces, because it might not just all be for a new building or however it plays out, but what can you do in the meantime as well to help the ongoings athletic wise or band wise or whatever it is.
And last time I handed out all the documents I had that had some layouts on them of one kind or another, even back to
Yeah,
Lemon Porter.
yeah.
We had some, Garland Miller, we had
He might have
some,
a copy of it.
yeah, might have that too.
Yeah, I think I've got some
From
other
the-
presentations from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you forwarded us a one site plan a long time ago, maybe that had like parking on the backside.
So
over here
that
too.
was, I think that was before they did this edition
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
It was the new stadium and additional parking
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was gonna be laid out differently and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one of our
Came
first
about.
visits.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think baseball, softball was gonna be over
Yeah.
here and then there was all. It looked,
It will be.
huh?
Cloverfield,
yeah.
the tower.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of room, doesn't it?
No, it's
Do you know-
actually better. The tower in the middle goes up. The
Yeah.
fields are
Yeah.
They're
two softball.
nicely aligned where you can watch multiple fields
Yep.
at once.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Building
But
up.
you only need 2, right? Softball, baseball,
Usually it's like a cluster of 4. They're all just back to back.
just for practices.
Yeah, varsity JV.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you play multiple.
Yeah, you
Varsity baseball, ideally 2 clover leagues, varsity baseball, a junior high baseball, because we have that
Mhm.
now, and then 2 youth fields. which we don't have in
Right, right.
Bethel. And then the same thing for softball, varsity softball field and junior high softball field, and then 2 youth softball fields as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
Would be ideal. You could get away with a varsity.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, for now,
varsity and
but then you'll
2
plan
youth.
where the others would go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I
Yeah.
mean, that would be ideal. And like, I'd like to
Yeah.
bring these youth sports over here. We got plenty of them.
All of them. Jason.
And then pave
Hey,
over
well,
there and
for-
put that transportation facility. Maybe.
In conjunction with the township.
I think you'd be risking vandalism, putting it out there.
Getting
by itself.
vandalized here.
I'll
300
put in the buses out here on,
At the corner of Palmer and 40.
oh, no, that's a
Palmer and,
Really?
yeah, Palmer and
a
40.
gunshot away from my house. It'll be fine.
Jason's gonna be.
We're on security.
Patrol.
Interested you in the measurement that you had there.
We actually, I'm actually surprised that there isn't vandalism over there, but really the baseball field hasn't had any. I understand buses would be a different story, but there's just a lot of,
There's
a
not
lot of
much
traffic there.
vandalism.
Sheriff's pulling in there all the time.
So we have 2 baseball fields in the township.
Yeah, I know.
Friendship Park, and somebody stole the bases.
Yeah, but
Lost.
parks never leave the bases out, so yeah, unfortunately, that's.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped the ball and forgot to put the bases away maybe or something.
That would be part of the plan too, that we
Yeah.
would pave that, it would be fenced in. There'd be a I mean, we.
Yeah.
You can always- I think
Proper
you can
lighting.
touch-
Lighting.
Lighting.
Camera.
We had people steal our fuel this year.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 300 gallons full.
Well, the thing is, then you could lock it all up.
That's
out
what I'm
there,
saying. You'd have
you
it
know?
locked up.
Yeah,
Answer
Right.
right.
run the
Top.
fence,
Look like a
yep,
prison.
Get a
lock it
yard
up and
dog.
then
Put
it'd
right
be.
for
From my, and I get paid for my house.
And actually, you could pave it and do a,
Definitely put
so you're
razor-
not walking
definitely
through the mud
recommend
and
razor.
everything and make
Yeah.
it look like it should.
You know, we put razor
Maybe
wire.
an alternate for razor.
We put razor wire. Tim, you laugh. We put razor wire around mechanic.
All right.
And people were like, I can't believe you put razor wire. on."
We
Go
tried what you do.
ahead and climb.
Then you have to have your signs, climb at your own risk.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
yeah, it's on you now.
Yeah, it's on you. That's all I need is. a sign.
So some of the assessment things, if there's anything else that you guys have thought about, over the past couple of months, buses, these are what we captured: cafeteria capacity, parking capacity, admin offices, special ed needs, financing, for long and short term, and Agawam Road, will we ever want to consider, that's a township road, so, will there be a vehicle or a bus drive entrance? It just depends really on what ends up on that end of the
And
campus.
we've had that conversation too, right? I think it would be interesting to see what they come up with from you know what I'm saying? Cause there's so much land here. You know what I'm talking about, different, egress and all the ins and outs of how I could flow the traffic. And then it would be pretty
That's-
interesting to see.
That's gonna be a heavy
Yeah.
discussion of.
Because this is kind of a hot mess out here in the morning. And here and there,
You're
but
not the
this
only-
out here is,
Yeah, you're not the only school district dealing with it. We're working with one right now of, how can we update their parking? Not only adding onto the parking, but update it so that we're keeping buses separate from just vehicular drive of dropping off and picking up.
and the other thing, I mean,
So that is gonna be key for discussion.
yeah, that discussion has to also be all the routes too, like the routing, when we need to think about bus lanes and, because we've got. Well, we can talk more about that
Yeah.
later with the committee, but my point being is. We have so many drop-offs and pickups. We're doing different buses, they come here on one bus, they grab another one and go, you know what I'm saying, so it's. And we've got people trying to get to the weight room, we got people trying to get to the softball field, and we're trying to get. So it's just, there's no room
That's why it'd ideally be an elementary down there, right?
down.
Down at Carriage Trails.
I don't know yet. I mean, that's something else we need to talk about.
I mean, I'm the guy sitting on Ross trying to drop my kid off, waiting for the Carriage Trails parade to go by. Cause it's just so many of those folks coming this way.
Yeah.
And
A lot of traffic.
Yeah. You gotta look at how much. Oh, the space he was going to give, you need so many acres to build a school. And then what type of school, high schools need more acreage than elementary schools, and there was.
Yeah, and I know that was a point by them years ago, my understanding, they were gonna put a school in there.
Right.
But then it comes into, I mean, what do you all want? You want it centrally housed or, see how the land,
Right.
it's a discussion. Yeah. So, and I think when the data comes back and all that should play into it.
Does something like that, if we were to be quote unquote, given land and or a building potentially with this conversation with Huber, if that comes to fruition, does that affect our OFCC stuff at all? Because now we have additional space for our.
It will go into the conversation. I can't say where it's going to lead, but it'll be part of a discussion. That's all I'll say. It's not gonna exclude you from that 80-20 or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Whatever our master plan is, that could be part of the master plan.
It'll be shown as an asset
Yeah.
that you'll
Okay.
have over there that needs to be taken into consideration. So they might do their own evaluations as they would any of your buildings. Saying,
Mhm.
okay, this is one asset for the school district here on site. Here's another one that needs to be evaluated, considered for. I don't know if there's renovations or any, I don't know the age or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's, if it needs upgrades or an addition to it, so on and so forth.
Or maybe it could be the front end money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no building there now.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's just land, you're saying.
potentially it's just land if they give us the land, which is what they said they do.
He also said in lieu of that, he would give us money. Like what's 20 acres worth and cut a check, done it to school and put school here. That was the other conversation. It's all stuff we need to flesh out. now.
There, yeah, with everything we're discussing, there's gonna be options and
Yep.
paths, and we just need to weigh the data.
Mhm.
Where we are at now.
Capture
and-
it all.
And moving forward. The smart decisions, because if you give up the land and you realize the cost for the land goes up, does it make sense to give it up? Or does it make sense to build off that site, because traffic study might say it makes sense to go over there to like, you've got a heavy gravity with the schools here. Do you pull some of that gravity over here, so a lot of the less
Right.
circulation comes over here? Again, things for us to investigate.
Yep.
We've got civil engineers who do traffic studies, things like that.
Kids can also walk to school if it's in their neighborhood.
Yeah, you're
So
doing
we have-
busing.
So
need
you're
less
eliminating,
buses.
that, so
They have a local playground to go to.
positives, negatives,
Yep.
as we talked about for all,
Pros and cons, yeah.
yeah, pros and cons, is that.
You know what, Troy, it was that kind of what Troy went through, because then the community they were talking about, originally one big and the community that want that, they've got. There was one
They're
better.
going to three,
Three?
yeah, two elementary. and-
Neighborhood schools,
Yeah.
more so.
Well, no, they had neighborhood and now they're building, I think it's a total of 3 buildings, but it's one's middle school and 2 elementaries. So they're combining
They
some
had like 4 or
elementaries.
5 elementaries.
Yeah, they're combining
Oh,
elementaries.
okay.
Yeah. Still. neighborhood, but
Yeah, so
bigger
that
neighborhood.
was a big thing, but yeah, that's
The
what they are
community came
doing.
back and said they want, yeah.
Yeah, but they are doing it that way. There's 3 buildings.
So, let's see, anything else on this list? So we just, priorities are important and just looking at, the fields, the practice, the game, gym space for practices and games, athletics stadium, all these things had been on the list before. Are they still on the list? Is there anything new? Concession stand, restroom, locker rooms, weight rooms. And I know Julie found the old information and shared that with you from the past. Just, there is a lot, but I just want to know how can we help as a facility committee? What can we do to help keep things moving along? Where do you need our input now? We've been trying to refocus.
What do you think, Tim?
Just in my head, a few thoughts, I'm not saying this is what has to happen, but, because we know from the OFCC, they're gonna give, like I said, the academics, what they're gonna push for with those different master plans. They're not gonna speak to these locally funded things, which focus on the buses, the fields, the gym space, the athletic stadium, all of that. If there are pieces of program where you say, hey, we've got X amount of bleachers and again, just throwing this out as an example, not saying this is what you're dealing with. And what's that? Oh, it's.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Let's talk about.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You gotta think about this, if it's high school too, we've got basketballs. Freshmen, JV, varsity, boy, girl, we've got wrestling now. And that goes on, and we can have invitationals. You know, do you have your gym for your basketball, you have the other gym that could house the wrestling, so you can still have them both on site, because invitationals. Wrestling invitationals are all day long, they can bring in some money. You know, and stuff. So I mean, there's things you gotta think about too when you're looking at that kind of stuff. You know, our theater programs and plays and our musicals that we do, you know, those auditoriums and that, you know, cafetorium isn't always great for those. But, you know, cause we had one of those before. So those are some of the LTIs that you gotta look at that, you know, that building also you can have your community be using to bring people into the community if we want to make this a community center place. So those are things we've got to be looking at too, is, you know, what are all the programs? Because the bigger we get, the more there is.
So we
So-
definitely have a need for every one of those aspects. How do we fund that?
That's
Right, that's the big question,
that's the big
but literally, how do we do that? How do other districts do it?
Uh,
Do we take that 23 million we get back? Can we allocate that towards that, or can it have to go to academics?
so
Can't go to LFI, I don't think.
I wanna confirm all of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
don't
wanna
remember
get that
that.
confirmed. But there've been, donors have been part of things, naming rights for stadiums, for buildings, for gym floors, for rooms. That's something, but it's not gonna pay for the overall.
Right, and our problem is we don't have a lot of businesses in this
Yeah,
rural
we don't have
community.
the city, so,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. they don't have-
Concrete ceilings can only do so much.
Right.
Like sweep that rock,
Yeah.
not them specifically, but just to
Right.
get what we were able to get out there, we were.
And I mean, we
Very
hit some of the
blessed,
community
very
because we're part of
blessed.
TIP and
Yeah.
Hubert, but
Yeah.
that only goes so far. They spend it in their schools.
So a lot of it is going to the community for levies, for passing bonds, for specific locally funded things where you're telling the story of the positive with the state for the academics about you're only paying 20% instead of the 80. And you're telling that story, but you go to the community and note that there's things that aren't funded by the state that we need to come up together, that we might get this new building or whatever, tell that story, but speak to the stadium, the athletics that aren't part of it. That as that academic raises, we need to come together as a community and support those other things that aren't funded.
So to answer your question, let me bring this comment up. Can we identify as a committee something that we can tackle while all this other stuff's going on? It's not gonna affect the master plan. And I'm gonna use the concession stand as an example. The infrastructure's there. We know we have plans, right? Can the board go out and get that, and then we can start raising funds for that as a committee?
Yeah.
Or work with the boosters or whatever.
So here's.
And I'm not saying we have to do that. That's just my example because that's what affects me personally.
Yeah.
Right?
No, go ahead, Mike,
You probably know what I'm gonna say.
maybe, I'm
Maybe.
pretty sure.
So to answer that, that at the time when they thought they were going to take away our surplus, it was over 40%, we identified a capital improvement plan, right? And one of those things, and there were several, Todd, Damon, me, Bob Hancock, the treasurer, went through and listed a capital outlay plan of over 10 years, what we would spend that money on. The point being is we have that money. I think we really need we need to finish the football stadium. I mean, that was about $1 million, I think, expense, right? The field house, if you will.
Yeah, that's my example.
Yeah,
Concession.
so I'm using that. So there was money, we talked, the board, there was money in the.
So we
general
possibly already
fund.
have the funds.
We have the money to build at the time, we said if they were gonna take that money, we could spend that money on a field house. The money's in the budget, you could say, if you wanted to use that.
Right. But do we know, or do we have to hold that money back in case we have to do this Where we have to come up front.
No, I think it's, I know what I think, but it's a bigger conversation with, I think, with the treasurer, with the board to say, what are you willing to spend, right? And have reasons why, and why not, like, I think.
Well, so my example of that over, let's say, a baseball field is because the baseball field is gonna affect the master plan. I mean, its location. Not, we don't know what these buildings, we don't wanna build a baseball stadium and then 2 years down the road, we gotta put a school on top of it. The concession stands, it's there. I mean, we're not moving it unless we plan on moving the stadium. It's a shed right now. It's that little shed right there
This right here.
and a whole line of porta
15
pots.
by 30.
Yeah.
Are they there in that picture?
Yeah.
No, the porta pots aren't.
Oh,
Wait.
that's-
The porta pots are over here this year.
Yeah.
Well, they're on both sides.
They're not by the concession stand anymore.
Well, there's one. Why'd they put it so, it's literally touching the concession stand? I said, well, it's just ours, so it won't be that.
He was looking out for you. He said you didn't like to walk very far to go to.
Yeah, exactly.
That, I did hear that you guys wanted it moved, and I'll forget that.
So the electrical, the sewer,
Everything.
the water's there, all the infrastructure's there. It's on a gravel pad,
You just need to pour photos and start sticking it in the spring.
and then this is the field house, right?
Yeah.
The other building.
Up here.
That is the current football.
And then our away team goes back
What
to
is
the
that? What
elementary
is that building?
at halftime.
That's the locker
Yeah.
room.
Temporary lot.
They go down
Yeah,
to the,
they're in the
Shipping or.
shipping, the loading dock.
Like our
Our visiting teams are in.
Yeah,
loading
they
dock.
put down, it's funny because
That's the local school.
they put
Yeah.
down mats
It's-
so they
yes,
can actually
it's-
walk to the bathroom because they have
Visiting.
cleats on in the
Oh,
elementary.
So then-
Damage. Oh.
The other
Yeah,
thing that
so,
we-
I mean, they have to put
So,
down mats and
So
everything.
just from
so-
my knowledge, sorry to cut you off.
go ahead.
So this room, is it just locker room?
Right now.
Locker room or
temporary
restrooms?
No
No
restroom.
restroom.
It's a glorified carport, walls.
That was a
It
storage
is.
facility when they did the.
And then we put the track stuff in there in the winter, right?
No,
No.
some of it, some stuff, but we stored like the track.
Basically-
And see, that was the idea was we would take these buildings, right, and reutilize them as track storage and things like that.
Is there a garage door or anything on this? Do you-
Yeah.
There can be one put in.
Yeah.
It does not currently have
doesn't.
one because its primary use is locker
Is the
room.
locker room?
But then when it came time to use this track, so the concession stand was gonna be the track storage, because it has a garage.
Yeah, there's a
door.
garage door on the other end.
Yeah, it
The bigger
does.
one does not, but it's also on a permanent slab.
And see, this one is a wood
We can
floor storage shed, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's our concession.
And then this is just concession, straight concession, no
Right.
restrooms or anything.
no,
Correct.
No, the only restrooms are porta johns.
So where would the field house go?
Right where
Right
the
where the
current concession,
concession
basically that
Okay.
whole gravel area that you see would be
Okay,
concrete
become-
and building.
Okay.
the other thing that plays into this, is it next year we go into the larger conference?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, you're gonna,
So we've already had a sample game of that with
Kent Ridge.
Kenton Ridge, and it completely, I mean, so many people, it was standing room only.
Their
right.
band filled the away stands. The band.
yeah, so we need bigger stands.
Yeah,
I mean, there were Kent Ridge people, like, there was a whole section of Kent Ridge.
so we do $2,500 to $3,500 in concession sales. We did over $5,000 that night. So, I mean, it was hot too.
And that's gonna be.
That was the night we
and
delayed the game an hour because the heat was so hot. Yeah,
That's gonna be almost, when we go into the CBC, that Friday night against KR is gonna be
Every
8
night.
games. It's
Right.
gonna be-
that's what I'm saying.
We're not
So when
even-
we get to
don't play
that point in
but
2
all
years
5 games are gonna be
and we hit
that
that conference, all 5 games are gonna be big.
So we
What
gotta
happened
get
to the
bigger,
original
longer stands, so
plan?
we gotta expand our stands.
The visitor stand at
Yes.
least for sure. I think they're only like 420.
Yeah.
They're rated for 420 people. The original plan was 2,000 on the home
What's
side and
ours?
1,000 on the away, and we've shrunk it down to 1,400.
So we need a field house and stands.
So we're gonna have to expand ours probably.
So
Well, and what we talked about was taking, Damon Wright was taking these stands to 420 and making it the student section then eventually, right?
Yes, so those currently, they are bringing them around to our side.
To make our
We
student
want to make our
section.
Student section.
Oh, yeah.
So that we.
Or our
have
abandoned
some
student
15
section,
abandoned
right?
Students, so we have
That's what-
1,500, and then putting in more, or expanding that visitor section
Right.
to put in more there.
And that's
as
what a
well.
lot of districts do. They do have those smaller stands on the
Yeah.
end for their students and the band.
The parents
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yes, they do.
Separate
Keeps the
sections.
riffraff out.
Fairmont
What
did
happened
that
to
with
the
theirs.
athletic boosters getting a loan and doing the field house? Is
That was
not-
just a recommendation. That was never a promise or anything.
Well, the athletic boosters, I can tell you, we. end up
Yeah,
paying
there's
for
a former
electric
president.
And a lot of stuff that
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they ended up
We
paying,
were gonna end up paying for lighting for the stadium and.
When the whole field house went away and we had to pivot, there was a lot of conversation between the athletic department, the district and the booster.
the
club
lighting
about
went up, the cost of the
lighting,
lighting, everything was going, just like you were going against elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these extra costs and then we never did weren't we supposed to do that hive wall or whatever and try to fundraise the wall?
But it's
We-
supposed to be
we
on the
got-
building.
It's supposed to be on the field house, like it's supposed to be a nice.
So
display
some
area
places
on the
sell
building.
bricks or whatever we were gonna sell.
Honeycombs.
No,
Little
you did sell
honeycombs, yeah.
bricks.
We
Well,
sold the honeycombs.
Yes.
box.
yeah, but we didn't sell enough. We didn't sell hardly any bricks at all.
We had.
Like
uh,
I was
10.
gonna ask, where's my brick?
Yeah, we had,
Mine too.
Right next to the other 9.
I contributed to 3.
Yours is right next to mine.
there were
I contributed
47,
to 3 of them.
47 bricks.
47 people purchased.
I knew it was low.
honeycomb. And
Oh.
do you spend the money to put up a temporary couple 4x4s in the ground and a temporary sign? Or do you wait for the building and then put the nice design up?
Yeah,
there?
so I would wait,
Right.
yeah. And then we
And
could
that's
sell
why we
honeycombs
have-
for future expenses,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
whether we need new hurdles or whatever.
Yeah. And this, I mean, we've got stadium naming rights and.
So all I'm saying, I guess I hijacked the whole meeting because I feel like there's a lot of things that are happening with this solution for the schools that we can't do any input in right now.
We weren't, yeah, and we didn't.
But,
really
but
know
can we
the
do
status.
some of this stuff that's not gonna affect that at all? You know,
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
know.
I mean,
Can we
that's
pick a project,
That's a piece-
concentrate towards
piece
it?
of it.
Yeah,
They
Definitely.
are good. From our side, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I
Whatever,
think the stadium.
I think it's a
would be
good
the way-
idea.
whatever
would go with
we're
this as
we're
well.
directed to.
Yeah.
Here's a simple thing. If, the school district provides, similar to what you get for a new school or whatever you're gonna do for that, program or requirements, a program of what you would like to see in that space. We have, concession needs, you know the square feet of that.
restrooms, yeah.
Is this square feet of that concession, is that adequate? Or
half or a
Do you-
third of what we
We've
need.
got a full set of plans for the
Yeah.
field house. yeah,
But independent of
Right.
that, because those plans were done a long time ago.
Right,
You
Yeah.
utilize this now. You're
Right.
experiencing the bleacher issues, you're experiencing the concession issue. Come together as a team, say, best case scenario, and I just do bullet points. Concession, we need A, B, and C. We need a order window, we need a pickup window, we need a fryer, we need a hood, we need separate
Refrigerators, yeah.
storage, we
Yeah.
need dry storage, do we need a cooler?
Mhm.
What equipment do you need in this space? If you can get as particular and as specific as possible, we can help you lay out those spaces and say, here's what a building looks like,
That's easy.
like at that.
Two
And
ordinances,
here,
two
and here's the cost associated.
And we
with it.
did that back then when we were doing this, but times ago, that's
Right.
years ago. We did
the
that.
only thing it's gonna do is increase
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Right.
You're-
Like I added another cooler out there from Pepsi this year. I mean, it's small, but
And
just as much because we can't store enough pop for one game right now.
I would hit it for the entire stadium. Don't just focus on, and I don't know if I'm going too far with this, but this is how I would tackle it.
good to
This is how I would tackle it. I would take the stadium and like those bullet points, focus on buildings, focus on your bleachers. What are you at now? What do you want to go for the home side? Do you want your separate band bleachers for home and for visitor? What does that play out to? Are you utilizing your D zones properly? We've seen bleachers for bands in the D zones. It can wreck some of that track material, but there's things to protect against that. Your press box, do you need something on the visitor side? Lights, I'm guessing you're good, but
The lights are great. yeah.
lights are great. Speaker system?
Great.
Speaker
And I think
system?
home stands are not too bad as long as you.
People around here complain that it's too loud sometimes.
somebody
Oh,
was
too
kind
loud?
of, somebody was kind of stuck on the speaker system that way.
So yeah, the
Ti-
press box is
ticket
fine.
booths?
Yeah, yeah.
Ticket booths?
We don't have one, right?
So,
I think it's part of the field house plan, the current one they had.
but your points of entry, having
Right.
remote entries, how do you circulate through this? How do athletes circulate and experience the stadium? How do attendees circulate and experience the stadium?
And that's another thing. Can
Where
we
do they-
put parallel parking in for the handicap?
Yep.
Up here along the route, though it's wide enough to park cars there.
There's green space even to the east of the lane between the two, right out here, all that green space there
Yeah.
could potentially be additional parking spot for the stadium.
So you're putting together a list of action of possibilities. Some of it'll be wish list where it's not gonna be because of cost or whatever.
Right.
But still, I would say put it in. We can at least go down the path, and I'll keep going back to the pros and cons.
Yeah.
We'll look at the pros and cons of things, because the last thing we want to do is say, well, we kept that out because of, we were worried about something. No, let's investigate it. Contractors aren't moving on this tomorrow. This is the time where we can put some stuff together and have some serious discussion on things for how this really wants to be. And it's exciting. I love this. It's like I love puzzles, so this is just
Yeah.
a big puzzle to me. And like and like the picture is upside down, so I'm putting together on the backside. No edges. It's all circles. There's no border. I love it. So if you give me those parts and pieces of that puzzle, we can easily do layouts, aerials showing how all that could fit together.
Well, and this, again, this doesn't have to be the project we go after. I just made a suggestion because it hits home, right? And it doesn't affect the long-term layout of the facility.
Incomplete.
Exactly, and I think it's a great olive branch to the community too.
Well, the other thing, this whole plan with the turf, getting the turf, and there was a little bit of a time where there was a sore subject with that, but the ability to bring money in from the utilization of this facility for either the booster club or, and that not just for athletics, but you're talking OMEA competitions, all that kind of stuff. There's so much that can be utilized from outside sources that would rent that facility.
Right. Soccer
Giving
tournaments.
soccer tournaments, like
Well, that brings up a
I
good
have-
point. Where does ticket sales money go to
for
for the stadium, like a football game, Friday night game?
the athletic fund.
Yeah.
It goes.
Is there a
into
surplus that could help fund some of that or not?
to fund some of,
The field house.
we've used, there's a lot of money that has come out of the athletic department to do some of the stuff in that stadium that's already been done. So it's not, the ticket sales is our main source of revenue to fund
All
uniform,
athletics.
basically all athletics.
Yeah, I figured.
It's-
And I know
there's not a lot
paying
left over.
refs and everything.
Yeah,
It's,
there's not a whole lot left over when it's all said and done to do big projects like
yeah, there's a
this.
porta
There's
potty.
your porta john.
Yeah.
Now we split them
Yeah.
up.
So, but anyway.
This year's layout's a lot
The
better.
reason why I haven't rented it out to
See,
club
David?
soccer teams and brought in, I've been reached
I
out
like it.
for, like alternate frisbee competitions, like. We don't have the facilities to support that. They see it.
So
Like,
that
the
plays,
OHSAA wants to come in, they want to run the regional track meet here.
that plays out another
When
thing.
you're
So let's say we
fielded
spend the
in
next
your
year
field.
building a field house.
Yeah.
Our field only has what? 4 to 5, maybe 6 more years of life left?
Oh, no, it'll go at least 12.
Oh, I thought they were 8 to 10.
That's the turf company's recommendation. It'll
Yeah.
last 12.
Okay, okay.
The system that we got from Maumee Bay, the type of system it is, will last longer, particularly because.
But we don't want to wait until year 11 to start thinking
Oh,
about it.
no, we'll need to start planning for it.
Yeah.
By year 8, because sometime
Right.
between 10 and 12, we're gonna have to.
And we're
replace the
year
grass.
3 now?
So this will be the start of year 3.
Yeah.
Just make sure proper maintenance is
Well,
ongoing.
But that
And the
kind of.
more-
But if you
that kind of
start,
Revenue.
but you
can
start
go-
bringing in more revenue, you're gonna have more use on it, more.
and I'm
But then
telling
it's
you,
gonna
that-
wear off faster.
Right,
There-
exactly.
There are people,
So-
there are people that want to use that facility, but won't because we don't have
The field
restrooms and locker rooms, and we just don't have the facilities for it. They look at it and they go,
Yeah, no way, right.
we'd love to, but we can't bring people, we practice here, but we're not gonna bring our tournaments here because you don't have restrooms, you have porta johns. I've had those conversations, thousands and thousands of dollars that we're just.
Losing
and
that.
We're
long.
70 and 75. That's really
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's so,
You could, like I mentioned gravity earlier. You could be a point where you're attracting a lot of people. I think originally it was talking about making this a community site.
Mhm.
That's one easy way to do it.
Yep.
So that would be a side thing. I don't know if it has to go through Mike, treasurer or whatever, but we would be more than happy to help out. And with that bullet list of program pieces, again, being as specific as you can, so we can lay out, we can place equipment saying, okay, here's what a X amount of square foot of concession looks like. Here's what group restrooms look like. Is there a weight room that needs to be over here? How many locker rooms do you need? Do you need a dedicated two home locker rooms because you want a visitor to have their own where they're not utilizing a home local locker room.
Which is
Locker room
nice.
for officials.
Yeah, so you could just put hooks on the walls for the visitor locker room rather than putting lockers in there.
Right.
And really simplify it. And that way your two teams from home, if you have boys, girls, whatever, they've got nice home locker rooms that aren't getting beat up by a visiting team or somebody renting the facility.
That's a big bite, right? And there's other low hanging fruit, I think, that we can accomplish from a facility standpoint, just from an infrastructure standpoint of walking paths between parking lots to the stadium, additional parking lots.
Additional
That's
parking.
some low hanging, in my opinion, I think that's low hanging fruit. There's some smaller things that we can do to speak to the community and show them
district-
that we're trying to make progress, because the biggest complaint we have for any sporting event is the walk. It takes so long to
Yeah.
walk to the stadium, it's so far, whether it's handicap parking,
Right.
elderly folks, even. It just, there's some things that I think we do, and we have the green space to be able to do it. We just need to make sure that we're not putting something in that we have to tear up later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, it's low hanging fruit, but it also needs to be a part.
And the
of
closer that stuff is to the stadium, the safer it's gonna be.
Absolutely,
Right.
crosswalks and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff that
Right.
can be put in.
You
especially-
could
I
do
mean,
kind
even
of a temporary
all the
parking
east side
lot.
of the stadium
Yeah.
was
Oh, yeah,
parking right
you-
there.
that'd Be paved, but you can just do a gravel parking lot. would
You can
make
also,
people happy.
probably get, the torn up pavement, when they repave.
Mhm.
Now when they scrape that up.
The grinding.
places will
Millings,
be
yeah.
free.
Grinding, yeah.
Yeah.
And
milling.
it's almost like driving on pavement, because it kind of melts together in the sun, but it lasts a while, is what I'm
Right.
saying. But then it's also temporary, you can
Yeah,
just get
tear
rid
it
of
up
it if you need to.
There's some of that low hanging fruit I think we can accomplish.
So I just want to ask one question, because, I joined this committee because of the school. So, and the classrooms and the buildings. So where's the facilities committee gonna fit into that? Because we have a lot of history. I mean, Mindy was at the last meeting, last thing that we did, and
You're saying
Natalie.
if a master plan moves forward
Yeah, like where do we get to participate?
throughout as needed.
Oh, yeah.
The school
The whole
district
process.
usually puts a core team together. That is the core team throughout the project that they report to other individuals or committees within the school. So we would just look for the school district to say, how many people do you want in that core team? Who do you want it to be? And then that's the main team, if you will. Usually has a couple board members. It's usually not everybody. But that's up to the school district. We're not one to say, oh, so-and-so can't be a part of this because
No,
of A, B,
yeah.
and C. Does that
I-
answer your question, sir?
I think I have a similar question. What needs are done? What can we do again?
Yeah.
To help? And I think that's why I brought up this other project, because I think there's a lot of gaps in that we're gonna be waiting on this. And then we got a month meeting and we didn't do anything, right? Where we could be working towards parking lot or something that's
I think the local.
gotta happen anyways.
Locally funded stuff, if we can move that forward parallel while the academic stuff's moving forward with the ELP or the ENP. It's beautiful.
My fear is this stuff stalls out while we're all concentrating on a building. It's gonna happen regardless.
But I also believe this, and research will tell you that if you've got kids that are involved in something, the majority of your kids are involved in something, the school district's a better district, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they've got, and athletics people say that this is a coach in me and the teacher in me, but I would tell you that when I was coaching, it was probably the biggest classroom I had. It was not just about the sport, but it was about other stuff, right? That taught them to compete and win and things in life and learn. And so I just think those are still equally important.
Yeah.
But
And you're keeping.
That's not what I was suggesting, that they're not important. I
No,
just
but I'm-
don't want it to become all that for this group.
And you're.
Right?
I agree
Otherwise, there's
100%.
no
Yeah.
Reason to have.
Well, and I think
Yeah,
once
it's
the,
not-
once
yeah,
the
it's not-
data comes in, then we've got more of an
Well, I think there's
opportunity
plenty of work
to
we do with the
plan. We
academic.
can
Right.
plan the town hall
Yeah.
meeting and plan on
I
what.
think we can
what
handle
our
both.
options
That's my
are
point.
and-
Right.
so do I.
I was just asking, because
Yeah.
it seems like you guys are doing all the work on the.
But like Todd said, this is an
academic
unfinished
side.
project.
We're just,
We have an unfinished project here that needs to be done.
so a couple of things. This and expanding upon it gets the students, athletes, everybody staying on site longer as well. So you're really creating that community. That's one thing. The other thing is, we're just getting traction on this and just pushing it forward with the OFCC and everything. There is gonna be discussions and work on everybody's side. It's not just gonna be closed off and we're designing and talking in a vacuum over here. No,
That's
it's,
the last thing would happen.
that's the last thing we want.
That's how we got this glass, by the way.
I did
No,
this,
That's
I did
how
this
we
by
got this
myself.
glass. What's that?
I wouldn't have done this if I'd have done that by myself.
Well, I'm just
But I
saying,
would at
that's
least
how
ask.
we got that.
It's gonna be open communication and dialogue. We're just getting traction just to get the data moving so we can have something to digest. That's the big thing. But yeah, if the team here focuses, while we're waiting for this information, on locally funded stuff that we can start,
But
it's good.
Gets the train moving down the tracks and gets people excited about things so that when
Yeah.
we start doing the bigger stuff as well, there's a little bit more of a community's eyes around things. Things are starting to move again. It's starting to get exciting and
And if you're trying to raise funds, if you're
Yeah,
trying to get
that's what
donations
I
or
was
whatever,
Thinking, yeah.
we've attended
Yeah.
football games, we've attended community gatherings at stadiums, we put rendering
Renderings.
rendering boards together where people can walk up next to the concession, see these large 30 by 42 boards, a table out showing what could come. People want to get excited and be a part of that.
That big red X through all your Port Johns.
Yeah, that would be a good graphic.
This is for the visitor side.
Yeah.
Where did John stay over there? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the boosters have a million ideas. I'm sure the coaches have a million ideas. So
yeah.
Chase and
Yeah, start,
Holly can work together to get,
start consolidating.
some lists together and if that's what we decide to do. So I guess that's the first step. We have to figure out what
Yeah,
needs are
I
there.
mean, since we opened this, it's just kind of been a hurry up and wait, like what's gonna be the next step? What are we gonna do? And there are tons of ideas out there, but it's always been, what's the next step?
It's just
What's
another, it's just another
what-
version of
what's-
one of the schools you have where
Yeah.
it was kind of
But
undersized and you're in the middle of it.
I was ready to run, like, let's keep doing it, let's keep doing it, but it was more of like,
Yeah.
I don't know answers right now. So,
We'll go at your pace for this. Just let us know and we'd love to be a part of that.
Thank you.
you guys want me, I do have to take off,
Oh.
but,
I think we're done.
LFI survey. You guys want that sent to everybody in here, correct? The one that I found.
Yes. You,
Julie's already
Yeah.
got it. She said she didn't.
If you.
I was gonna send it to the group and the folks that are.
He needs the rest of the names.
I've got,
I think,
Okay.
yeah,
I've, Nutter, Novelino, Bird, Beef, Donahue, Cox, Pickett, Reese, Gilbert, Runkle,
yeah, Kayla.
Campbell, and Ruzick.
Thank you.
Got it? Is that
I
everybody?
was just
Did I miss
joking.
anybody?
I think that was
I
everybody.
think that is there.
Alright, so I'm gonna send that.
Yeah.
Now,
You did say Novelino too, right?
I did, yes. Yes.
So I'm just gonna find the first one.
If you can find one.
Novelino's an open house.
What's that?
She's an open house.
Okay.
Okay, so you
So-
can finish the.
Yeah, so, sorry. The last thing, there's no hearing of the public. Nobody else is in attendance tonight. So the next meeting, date and time, we tentatively said, we were just kicking around dates, last month, September 10th, which is the second Wednesday. Now, it's not going to be good at all in the fall.
No.
Soccer and football and all the other activities.
Activities.
Yeah.
Volleyball.
There's a lot.
That's the Wednesday before the next board meeting, so we will have had 2 facility meetings between the board
Yeah.
meetings, right?
Yeah, but, and really,
That's okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's good.
yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
think we should have more.
yeah,
but I don't
and,
know.
More what, facility meetings or board meetings?
Facility meetings.
Meetings all around.
Well,
Three
probably
meetings
should
about-
hopefully, but right now,
Yeah.
a month goes by and nothing's.
Yeah, I
really
know.
done.
Yeah.
We brought that up last
I
time
mean-
and I don't disagree.
How long have we been looking for data from Keithler? I mean, I told him, I
Oh,
told
I
you
know,
months ago.
months.
Yeah.
All right, I put it in
But
the. calendar.
he's reaching out to him.
We'll call it September 10th at I'm sorry, 6 P.M. Sorry.
You want to do the next one then?
Do we want to look into October? And do we want to, is the second Wednesday? I mean, nobody knows any different right now. Is that kind of a good date?
Yeah, I mean, you're throwing a dart at a dartboard. Sounds good.
Exactly.
Say it again.
So the eighth,
October 8th, tentatively.
just to kind of keep it out there. If we find it's a bad day, we'll move it.
October 8th, yeah,
Yeah.
free birthday present,
Okay. Is that your day?
6th.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Well,
We'll
we
bring you
don't wanna do
happy-
that
We'll bring you
then.
half-eaten cake.
I'll eat the other.
What's left of it?
Still, okay. Right on.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, yes. And we need a motion to adjourn.
I'm
please.
a second.
The breeze that came
I can't say anything yet because I'm not officially a part of it.
Oh, who? First?
Hey, Andy.
Does that game?
Yeah,
And who's second?
Me.
give it to Mindy.
I'm like.
I was in there, I was close.
So the meeting is
Natalie,
adjourned.
Natalie,
Meeting is
you have
adjourned.
to vote. Natalie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Me,
This is
no.
my list.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Never mind.
No jokesters.
I'm just gonna put everybody in as yes.
Yeah, because I really.
Okay.
Yes.
And then.
Meeting adjourned at 8:26. Thank you very much for your participation. Sorry. it went a little-
Thank you all for the,
Thank
thank you all for the.
Yeah, thank you for
invite.
coming. That was all.
What's the
Greatly
time?
appreciated.
Thank you.
8:26.
8:26. Thanks, Mike.
Natalie,
All righty.
will you guys say something to Jackie about adding me to?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
If that's,
Yeah.
if everybody's with that, I mean, I'm here because he
Yes.
told me to start coming.
Yeah, we'll get you on there.
Because I was.
But it won't be before the next meeting.
It won't be, I still won't be officially.
It won't be.
I did my best, I've already heard
He tells me to jump and I just ask how high.
That's usually what I do. What?